Alright, hello guys. Welcome to our Thursday night D&D session where we follow the Blessed as they are attempting to save the world in this homebrew setting. Um, Last session we got two new players. One, the Dragonborn Erlin, and the other, a Asimar Sorcerer. And, but the Sorcerer, due to some real life issues, is going to be gone, but Erlin is still with us. Well, I'm not gone. He's going to have to miss this session. But Erlen is still with us. You guys are still, if you remember, in the city of Khazar-El-Dun, the dwarven city. That's sort of kind of that bit on the map. And you recently, I believe last episode, discovered a foul plot occurring in the Undercity, the slums of Khazar-El-Dun, where some not trying to stereotype, but some sneaky drow were doing some sneaky business. And they were slowly poisoning the rest of the drow in the Undercity with this gas that that basically increased their aggression and caused them to lash out at each other and the dwarves that patrolled or traveled through the Undercity as well. But you guys sniffed them out, literally and figuratively, and destroyed that operation. And I think that's where we stopped off. You guys had just basically crippled the mechanisms that they were using to pump that gas into the air.
Didn't we find some stuff out, like, about the docks or something? Did we find out the King of Clubs, like,
Yes,
on it?
you found that the drugs that these drow were using was in fact supplied to them by the King of Clubs shortly before he passed, and you had a hand in his passing.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not the yes, the Clubs. I get my own NPCs confused. Yes, the Clubs was the bad guy, and yes, you fought him in his underground submersible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I sort of.
You were trying to swim around and the outside.
Yeah, I had some fucking mad tight plans, but you didn't let me do my cheese gasket thing, so I just smashed his kneecaps, alright?
That was Bob.
Oh, right.
Rest in peace, Bob.
Yeah, what a hero.
But yes, so I'm going to have you guys just start. I think Alistair was the one that stayed behind to, because he has read about such things on his time as a professor and as a scholar. And so he was the one that stayed behind to sort of disable the machine. And then you all ran out. And that's where we'll start.
Alrighty.
Of course, he
So
has said, as soon as we're about to start, he says, give me 1 minute.
I think we were. Do we have a solid idea of where we were going next? I mean, I guess we tracked down where this gas came from, right?
Yeah, so it's up to you guys what you want to do next. You are sort of ending the main arc of Khazar-El-Dun. I don't have anything else planned for the city. I mean, there's wrap up, like, signing treaties and stuff like that. And I think there was talk about you talking to try to improve the Drow's position in the city, something along those lines as well.
Right.
But as far as, like, planned antagonists, there is no. You're done with Khazar-El-Dun, but we can freeform if you want to. You guys did tell me you wanted to go next to Odessa, so I have some stuff planned for that too. But if you want to stay in Khazar-El-Dun, shoot the shit, catch up with some people, that's fine with me.
I do have some, and I take out the vial of the drug that I so surreptitiously took from one. We could try this out on one of us and see what it does.
Yes, right here. I volunteer. Yeah, I'll be the troop.
All right. This is
in a controlled environment, meaning nowhere where we could cause collateral damage.
well. You
Yeah,
are
I cause collateral damage everywhere. Look at my sweet biceps.
as Suzik is flexing. You guys will remember that you are in the sort of abandoned part of the Undercity. That was sort of condemned due to buildings falling apart and into disrepair and stuff like that. So there's no people around. There's plenty of things to smash. There's no people that will get hurt other than yourselves if you decide it's to smash.
Actually, I do have a proposition. But I think a whole dosage might be too much. Let's just see what half a dosage does.
Oh, fine. Is this? It was a gas, wasn't it?
It is a gas. It's so it's basically it's a glass vial or bottle, and inside is this like pinkish / reddish sort of swirling gas inside, and it is inhaled.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I don't exactly trust. I don't exactly trust what a full dosage might cause your heart to stop.
I can handle my poppers. Let's do it. I flicked the cork or whatever.
All right,
I huff
give me
that
a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy. Oh, this is a terrible idea. Okay.
SpongeBob filter feeding.
Now, some things, whenever you imbibe these drugs, some things will always happen, but some of these might have immediate negative side effects, is what the Constitution saving throw is for. Like, so this is Fury, for instance, and so when you use Fury, you will always get advantage on melee attack rolls, and you will gain a +2 damage to melee damage rolls, and that'll last for 1d4 + 1 hours. But there's a side effect that comes with that. That's what you're rolling the Constitution saving throw to see if it affects you.
Let me hit that shit. I do not have advantage.
Okay, so you feel as you breathe this swirling red gas in through your nostrils and it goes into your lungs. You feel stronger. Like you see, like you were flexing before, and now your muscles like grow about another couple centimeters. Your biceps do, and you see the veins start to pop on them. And as you start to admire this, your sort of eyes begin to cloud over with red too, and you feel a distinct urge that you can't shake the feeling that you're all of a sudden all these people that you thought were your friends are now trying to attack you.
Now, to make one thing clear, he did not like increase in the size category. Like,
No,
altogether.
he's just stronger now, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my god.
But now you are surrounded by enemies, 3 of them, and they look like they're readying their weapons to attack you.
So, okay. Well, then the person facing me is Erilyn. I'll just headbutt her.
Oh.
Just nut them.
No, not headbutt.
That's what it's called in England. To nut someone is just to headbutt them.
Oh, jeez, okay. Did not know that. Coming at you.
I would like to try and dodge.
Yeah, no, please.
It'll be attack roll. It's an attack roll. So
He's.
I usually don't do PvP, but this is.
You told me they all look like enemies.
Yes, I usually don't do PvP, but you are under the hallucinatory effects of this drug, is why.
Oh, that's
All
not
right.
good
Well,
in this case.
so you headbutt. Actually, you have advantage on attack rolls, so you get to go again. Not much better.
Two headbutts? How the fuck is that?
So you lean your head back once and Erilyn manages to jump back, and then and she's like pleading for you to stop. You do it again, and she dodges again.
The idea of a double headbutt.
And I just say, I went far away. Just get far away possible.
Sun's getting real low, big guy. Yeah, and looks like you're looking around and there's a bunch of dark places in these buildings, these ruined buildings around you where you think enemies might be. and so you're like you're on high alert. Basically, you see enemies everywhere.
I'll just turn to the nearest building and lightning breath it.
All right.
This is why you do your experiments in controlled environments.
So,
This was supposed to be it.
well, as far as there's no innocent people around that you could hurt. You're in an abandoned part of town, so there's just buildings and you all here. So you immediately, luckily it's stone, which is not a great conductor of electricity. So you just blast this this wall next to you with lightning breath, and some of the stone chips off and flies off, and there's a scorch mark on the wall. But other than that, there is not a lot of damage to the wall.
I mean, I'm flipping the fuck out. I'm lashing out at
He,
everyone.
if you missed Alistair, he decided to inhale some fury. So he is he's tripping out right now.
Oh yeah, I heard. So
And
deeply unfortunate.
let's see how long this will affect you. All right, so we're 2 hours. You might not. This your strength will allow for 2 hours. So you all know that Slizik looks like he's obviously, you can see no inside check required. He's not himself. He's looking around. He's attacking shadows. He's lightning breathing walls. He took 2 headbutt goes at Erlen. Something is obviously wrong with him. Do you try to render aid, or just let the drug run its course?
Can
I-
let the drug run its course here in the middle of town?
Can I see if there's maybe something about this compound that might be, if there's another sort of drug that might counteract it?
As in he's taking an upper and you're looking for a downer?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I mean,
Or something that might just, like, I don't know, interfere with it. Like sometimes just, not necessarily like, throwing a heroin on top of cocaine, but just
if you
there's
had,
something that could neutralize it maybe.
if you're not certain right now, if you had an alchemist kit and you were in and you're proficient with alchemist kit, and you were like in a spot where you could work on this material, analyze it and stuff like that, you could probably develop something that could counteract the effects of the drug, but without doing it, just looking at it and seeing the effects, you're not certain.
So, just in case while Slizik is raging out of control, I'll just cast Hex on him and give him disadvantage on strength checks for the time being.
Well, okay. I reach into my bag and I pull out 2 bottles of rum. I say, I bet you can't drink both of these, coward.
What the fuck did you say to me?
Yeah, you can't drink them.
I rage run over there. I rage drink.
All right. Yes, this
2
This
I'm like doing
foolish-
bottles of
bottles,
rum.
like-
this foolish fat man has challenged you to a drinking contest. He has sullied your honor, and this will not stand. Both as a
bottles,
man and a pirate.
Mixing the streams in my mouth. Let's do it.
Yeah, you're just dual wielding
Yeah.
bottles of rum now, and just chugging them down.
A little under
All right.
a liter and a half. God damn
The
it.
fuck did you say to me?
How? It's almost 2 liters of liquor.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna say that Constitution save will, because his Constitution save was so high, he saves out of the fury effects, the
Oh, no.
rage of the fury. So, but because of that, it's basically he basically is so it's, you're not magically getting rid of this alcohol.
Right.
So basically this would have downed you normally, but you're just a little bit tipsy now due to your Constitution save. But as soon you're drinking it, and it's sort of interacting with the fury already in your system, and you're beginning to calm down a little bit. You begin to transition to this sort of slightly tipsy state.
Holy shit. I'm not
You've
even
been
buzzed.
holding out on me, Alistair.
What?
You've
Oh,
been holding out on me.
You didn't ask for any.
I didn't know you had it.
Guys, I think I might be Superman. I just drank 2 entire bottles of whiskey and I have like a buzz.
Well, I think we may have a counteracting effect with that fury.
Ooh. So, do I remember what happened?
Copious amounts of alcohol. So yes, it's hazy to you, but you do remember what happened. Basically, you remembered inhaling the fury, and then you remember distinctly because it plays tricks on the brain. So you would remember that your friends like turn with you with sinister gazes and are reaching for their weapons and stuff like that.
What the hell was wrong with you guys?
What?
You were all pissed off at me. You guys were going for weapons and being real suspicious.
No,
Until I
I'll
gave you that liquor.
tell you what happened. Here's how it went down. You take this stuff, get really yoked, angry, miss 2 headbutts somehow. And then our friend here had to hex you, just in case. You blew lightning breath upon a building,
I remember that. That's pretty cool.
and then I dared you or challenged you, said you couldn't drink 2 bottles of liquor, and that sort of shook you out of it somehow.
Haven't you realized drugs are bad? I'm just
Not
gonna
yet.
take a
Well, that's
long
not true.
drink from
That's
my
not.
water.
That's not. I mean, if we analyze every instance of drug use over the course of our career here, most of them have been beneficial.
I mean, we're all still alive. Ergo, it must be good.
This stuff clearly just seemed to be very dangerous. Really good for disruption in an army. That's what I would put my money on. The copious production of this is going to be somehow attempted to be implemented in a war.
Keep in mind, that was only a half dose.
I think
Full dose might explode your heart. At least in my suspicion.
they'll. Should we head down? Was it the docks that we heard? Does this place have a dock? Isn't it underground?
Yes, there are docks here. Not here, but here in the city. There's an underground lake, which is the source of the Rune River, which is where these docks are located. They're located in between the undercity we are currently and the upper city where all the dwarves live.
Do we want to find the source of this?
Divine source of what?
Or the gas? They said there was some kind of connection to the king of the clubs.
I would like to make a recommend that we take at least make camp somewhere for at least until tomorrow. Unless we don't have it till tomorrow, then.
Well, we could just head back over to the lift.
We can sleep on the wood.
And we're going to be sleeping in the lift regardless. It takes days.
Are you talking about? Okay, so I think there's a slight misunderstanding here, which is fine. So you are in. I'm making my sweet drawing skills out.
Yeah.
This is a mountain, not something else.
Okay.
Okay, so I think there's four layers of the mountain. But basically, this is Khazar-El-Dun from like a side sort of cutaway view. Like then there's 4 basically stories or tiers of the main dwarven city. You guys are in the undercity, which is the sort of called 5th layer, and it's the slums. Undercity. And also in the undercity is the elevator to the Deep Dark, which is this homebrew's version of the Underdark. So that is the one that will take you 2 weeks about to get down and back up.
I see.
So you're just maybe 15, 30 minutes from the docks. The docks are located sort of like on right here.
I mean, if you all have to have a rest, then we can do that. Personally,
I wouldn't mind taking a little bit. I have a single spell left in the animal chambers.
is Alara still with us?
Alara is. She's freaked out that you just sort of hulked out. She seems adept at hiding though, because like as soon as you started raging, those present would have heard a eep from her, but then she just like went into the shadows and you didn't see her for a bit.
Fearless leader. Oh boy. I mean, do we have a place to stay here?
I'm sure if you asked Alara, you could find lodgings. But also, you would also know, like, as far as in the Undercity goes, you would know, though, as emissaries of Stormhaven, who are about to enter into a treaty with Khazar-El-Dun. You would probably people of note, and you would have access, probably even comped, to the finest inns and of Khazar-El-Dun, which would be located on the second level of the city.
You guys want to go abuse our diplomatic privileges?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think I would like some potions because I, quite frankly, do not have any.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you can stop by an alchemist shop or apothecary on the first floor. The first floor is kind of like where you enter the city. So there would be a road to the outside there. It's where most of the non-dwarves stay and work and stuff like that. The second one is sort of the where the wealthy individuals live, mainly dwarves. The third is where the smiths work, and the fourth is where the king and the royal guard are. But yeah, you guys can make your way up to. You said you want to stop by an apothecary before you check in to see an inn.
I would appreciate that, but I don't know how much everyone else would.
Got nothing else to do. Let's do it.
Sure, I
think I
mean,
have
we
any
have great time.
I always mess up how much healing potions cost.
I think
Way more than they
super
should.
expensive. Yeah. Unless you use.
Well,
like,
it's to incentivize you to have a healer in your party is why.
Well,
They cost. Roll 20, you suck. I want to know the price. Oh my god. D&D Beyond also sucks, apparently. Dear Lord. Okay, thank you. 50 gold for a healing potion. And you can get those at the first sort of tier of Khazar-El-Dun. As you guys leave the Undercity, Alara stops, sort of. There's not exactly a clean break that you see in any of the architecture, but there's one that clearly is in her mind because she stops at that point and says to you guys as you leave, she sort of gives you a bow and says, or a curtsy and says, thank you for all your help, and just you guys are always welcome back here in the Undercity.
Oh, glad to hear it. We'll, and I'll be sure to mention a couple of concerns I've had to the king about the way things are run here.
Oh, okay, but if it's gonna mess up your treaty, don't do it though.
I don't see why it should.
I'm sure we'll see you before we leave.
Yep, and she waves to you guys as you all walk up to the first tier of the Undercity. Along the way, you do see the sign that leads that points. Basically, there's a sign that says, back where you came was the Undercity. Ahead of you is ahead of you is you're sort of going up in a ramp, a slope. Ahead of you is the first tier of Khazar-El-Dun, and off to the side is where the dock is. So you do see where the docks are, sort of in between these two tiers. And you find there's a number of shops in the first tier of the Undercity. There's blacksmiths, armor of both armorers and weaponsmiths. There's general stores. There's clothing stores. There's haberdashers. There's shops that sell knickknacks. There's also potions and apothecaries. And there's some small shrines and temples here too that offer healing services or places of worship as well. And you stop and step into a shop, which is what I was trying to say, along the main road, and it is attended to by a dwarf, and says, customers! Ooh! He notices your mithril armor. And wealthy ones at that! What can I get for you?
We're just... My name is Ezrelia. We're just here looking for... just accurate, Ezrelia is the other name that she goes under for her alternate identity.
I suppose I'll look at her questioningly.
Raises a eye crest. You only have eyebrows, so an eye ridge.
That's right.
We're just here looking to replenish some stocks.
We got all kinds of potions here. What are you looking for in particular?
What do you have in terms of healing?
We got healing potions, potions of healing, potions of greater healing. Any of the, if you want anything better than that, you'll have to go to Odessa here. Of course, my skills are, sad to say, my skills are indeed great for a city of this kind, but not a city like Odessa.
I think healing should help with that. I think healing is all, unless, are any of you looking for anything?
I might get some healing ones as well. Well, just on the off chance, what do you guys?
Well, I have the spell. I'm not terribly concerned.
Well, spells, sometimes, in the heat of battle, you might find yourself burning low on magical energy, as it were. And in a pinch like that, a healing potion will always be there for you.
DM, is it an action to use a potion?
It is an action.
Okay.
The first campaign, the first iteration of this campaign, I had it as a bonus action, but I realized that directly, pooped on a rogue class that allows them to use an item as a bonus action. So, I didn't want to do that.
I think I'm all right. That'll make do. I already have a healing potion, I guess.
Yeah, I think
No, I
some
probably
some of you may have had healing potions gifted to you, but I think some of you have used them during short rests and things like that.
I got none. So,
I have none as well, so...
Well, I just brewed up a fresh batch of 5
5 what exactly?
potions of healing, of course.
This is 5 of the greater, 5...
5 of the normal kinds.
5 of the normal kind.
Yes, if you want some more, you'd have to give me a bit more time.
and what would the price be for us emissaries of Stonehaven? Stormhaven, rather. I'll just kind of flash my ring.
So you're the ones that came to visit the city. Oh, I didn't realize. Give me a persuasion check when you said that. All right, yeah. I see you. It's like, it would be a boon for my shop if I could say that even emissaries of Stormhaven shopped at them, that this was a favorite apothecary on Khazar-El-Dun.
Slizik, and I approve this message.
And I suppose I can give them 45 gold each instead of the normal 50.
I think 45 gold is a good deal. Besides, you'll probably have us as repeat customers, where we tend to go pretty far out. We tend to go into danger a lot, so you'll see us a bit more often.
Yes, I take it. As I understand it, you were the ones that brought our smiths back to us from the deep dark.
Bro, what's her?
You brought the smiths back from the deep dark.
That'd be us. Pretty much the best heroes.
That would have been me too, right? Just out of curiosity.
You did not join yet. That was like the session before you started, I think, or 2 sessions before you started.
Okay. No, I was not a part of this group, but
Yes, she was. She's humble. Just she was a big part of it.
He seems a bit confused when you say you're not part of the group, when you're obviously wearing mithril armor, and so he seems confused. In this setting, mithril armor is almost exclusively used by Stormhavenites, so if you're wearing it, it pretty much designates you as a person from Stormhaven, and a wealthy individual too, as well.
I'll take one of those potions if you don't mind.
Alright, that'll be 45 gold.
There you are.
And,
I will also take one, though, as Slizik pointed out. We haven't died yet.
Yeah, why do we need them?
it's good. Let's call it preparation for what to come.
I'm not used to this.
yeah, so looks normally a man of the hour. He's in the now. He's very much in the present. He doesn't...
Let's say that you'll appreciate these preparations to come.
I sure hope so.
He might be thinking... The only thing he'll plan out is probably where he gets his next wheel of cheese from.
That's a very good point, actually. You have cheese? Cheese potion?
Oh no.
Well, I've never thought...
Don't mind his proclivity to cheese. I have plenty of fancy cheeses back in where we're staying.
Oh my god.
You could just put it in there and let it steep for a while.
I never considered brewing down cheese, melting it, as it were, into a liquid form.
Yep, you're welcome, bud. Take that one to
I
the
wonder
bank.
what that would taste like.
Probably really good, right?
Stroking his beard.
Probably
Oh,
okay.
Just get some cured bread, some vegetables, some cured meat.
Yeah. Does anyone? Oh, we haven't even fucking.
Yeah. So far, you have bought 2 of his 5 potions of healing.
I'll buy the other 2 for myself.
Okay. So you're buying 4 in total. So that's
Yes.
math is the worst.
You said
200 minus 20, 180
180.
total. Now, you're buying individual. You all have your own money. There's no group pool, so you all should have.
Not yet, anyways. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
So
I've been fairly sort of, everyone should have around the same amount of gold unless they went on a crazy shopping spree.
No, I put down the 90 gold. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Come back if you ever need a potion.
And think about that. Think about the cheese brewing.
Oh yes. After this, of course, I can't do it during, business hours. Of course, it'll be sort of an off hours experiment.
If you make that potion, I will endorse the hell out of this store. You can draw my likeness drinking that cheese potion with my thumbs up. I don't care.
Well, it won't be in a day. It will take me several days to figure out, the right amount of heat to
Oh,
use, the temperature, the right type of cheese. It's a lot of things to consider. For how long?
We'll be back. Don't
What
worry.
container do you put the
Other
cheese in while
stuff.
you melt it?
It's basically just a fondue, I guess, in a fucking glass beaker.
It's a lot of things to consider and to experiment with.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you get to that, man. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day, my friend.
You too. Thank you for the idea. What was your name, good sir?
Chock full of them. My name is Slizik Salazar.
If I manage to create this concoction, you are not in town, I will brand your name on them so people will know who came up with this ingenious idea.
You have no idea how much that means to me. I wipe a scaly tear from my eye.
And he says, now, good day to you, sirs. And madams.
Yeah. All right, well, sleep time, I suppose. Where's a decent... I'll find someone off the street. And just kind of grab them. Hey,
Yeah, there are several citizens you can ask or stop and ask. There are also guard patrols as well. So it's up to you who you decide to talk to.
I'll just shoot. I'm fucking massive. I'll just shoot my hand out, and whoever I grab first, like pull
All right.
them in. Where's an inn?
Ah!
Where's the nicest inn?
And this is an elf man that you have grabbed, and he says, "Unhand me, you ruffian!"
Well, just 1 second. Where's the nicest nearest tavern?
He looks you over as probably as trying to ascertain your status or your wealth, and he says, "Well, there are a couple of lovely taverns here on the first tier of the Undercity that might that you might find appealing. I don't have their names in my head."
Come on in is still available.
So we'll go with the Toasty Beard. Sorry, that's the dwarf voice, not the elf voice. The Toasty Beard Tavern is one such inn. Might appeal to you.
Mighty appreciated. I'll palm a good gold coin and just kind of, shake his hand and leave the coin in his hand. Mighty appreciated. Well, the toasty beard, I suppose. Away!
And their logo is a very drunk dwarf, and he's sort of sleeping and under a mountain of cups, of flagons, and all sorts of things that can hold liquid and alcohol. That's what their logo is. And you open the door, and there is, stereotypical drunk people hospitality where you're greeted by a hearty "Hey!" and mugs and flagons and cups are raised as you enter. And a red-haired dwarven woman comes up to you and says, "So I'm gonna have Daksh here. He's just following you in a stupor or a fugue-like state. So in case he needs to jump back in, it's easier for the narrative if he's just following you. You can't interact with him in any way, shape, or form." And she says, "A table for five then, or would you prefer a booth? Or a seat at the bar, perhaps?"
I could go for some food.
I always prefer the booth.
You can fit in a booth?
Wow.
How dare you?
You are, width-wise, you are about 2 of her. So, I mean... but she says, dwarves, while stout in nature, are also known for being hearty eaters and drinkers, so we do have booths that can accommodate those with larger, or should I say, wider frames.
Yeah, Alistair.
Well, what? That I'm sturdily built?
I meant no offense, sir. I was just trying to allay the concerns of your party member.
I'm glad I didn't give you any booze there.
What do you serve? I could use some food. How's a long day?
I suppose I can do
Well, whatever the house is making, we'll have some of that at our table.
Well,
Well, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So you're directed to a booth, kind of close to the bar. It's it's that bar-like atmosphere, so it's kind of like dim lighting. There's some smoking going on, so there's a haze in the air a little as well. People are drinking, conversing in low tones, occasionally punctuated by people yelling something as in excitement. There's a couple people playing cards and other games of chance as well here, and there are also people eating. So it's a very, stereotypical bar-like setting. And as you're sort of sat down, she says, "Well, our special today is roast beef, and we also you appear to be, out of towners, so I'll just say we don't really have a lot of what would you call them, fruits here, or the vegetables that grow above the ground. We have the root ones, so it's roast beef with carrots and potatoes. We do have mushrooms, so it's roast beef with carrots, potatoes, and mushrooms, with a sort of gravy over top."
I'll take 3. I don't know about these guys.
I would like cheesy mashed potatoes with mushroom sauce and a steak.
We do have cheese as well, and steak.
I'll take 4.
She says 3 roast beef specials and 4 steaks for just you, sir. If you would like just the cheese, I could bring that as well.
Oh, bring the whole thing.
Bring him.
Well, what type would you like? We have a cheddar. We have a sort of it's sort of I'm not a connoisseur of cheeses. This is the DM speaking, not her.
Some brie.
So they have some ones that have like the nuts in the
Chateaubriand.
They have some of the ones with the nuts in them.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
As well, but it's not the light cheeses like you would have. It's sort of the dark cheeses is what they have here.
A meal cheese. I'll take all of the above.
All right, and so she's looking over Jess Slizik's order. She says, "So you want 3 roast beef specials, 4 steak platters, and how many? How many?
That was Alistair.
Oh,
Got the steaks.
so you want 3 roast beefs and how much cheese?"
What a beautiful fantasy world.
We usually serve them in wedges to go with bread or toast or things of that nature.
Yeah, all of it. Please.
Um,
And I'll just put out that's probably quite a bit. I'll slide 2. I mean, imagine 2 gold is plenty. Would it be more than that?
so each of the specials is a silver piece. So, 2 gold will probably, she'll say, "I'll bring you," I don't know the prices in my head, but for that she'll say, "I'll bring you 2 wheels as well."
All right, now we're talking. How much are rooms, by the way?
Rooms are also a silver a night.
All right, well, do you have enough?
When
for
you're
all
done
of us?
eating, just see our, I don't know what the equivalent is, concierge,
Sure.
the person who checks people in essentially.
The customer service desk.
Yeah, and they'll get you, your key and everything.
Sounds good.
Well, I'll have one of the roast beef specials, and then I'm gonna slide my water skin over to her and say, fill it with the 5 highest proof alcohols you have.
A liquor salad.
She looks at you and says, "Well, we have this thing we like to call Everclear."
Okay.
I want a mishmash.
It's
of
it's
5.
180 proof.
I'll get that in a flagon, but this I want.
Now that's gonna be a bit more expensive because of. But would you guys? We haven't.
Kept my coin purse. How much?
That'll be a. I don't know. Wine is usually expensive in D&D, sort of like in the 5 to 10 gold range, if I recall, as far as bottles go. And you're asking for a flagon, so she would probably say 10 gold for the Everclear if you want this huge, container of it.
That's fine.
But just for the water skin, probably a gold to fill it up.
All right, I'll
We have a special here ale we're known for. It's a dark ale.
I'll have the
I'll
dark
have it
ale.
all.
I love these moments in fantasy games where you just kind of
Just order food.
live life.
I'll take out my pipe and just start lighting up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's cherry hazelnut.
And yeah, so she gets everyone's order. She writes it all down and she gives it to the chef. And shortly after, she gives you guys your drinks. There's this massive flagon, it's basically a giant bottle, but like portable, sort of like so it won't break in your pack, of Everclear, and then your water skin is filled up as well. Aja, and then you're each, given that dark dwarven ale you requested.
Did you ever think of getting that flask of yours enchanted? Man, I knew once on the boats had that. It's pretty handy.
Well, if we ever find someone who can do that.
Yeah, I'm sure in Odessa.
You are going to a magical city next, so.
Did I get my order in by chance?
No, she didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you want, Erlen? I'm sorry. I thought everyone had gone.
One steak special and 1 bottle of your finest wine.
Okay, so she would say that we have. Dwarves aren't really fond of wine, but we have one we've imported from. We have an Odessian wine we import.
Oh.
It's a red wine. Would that be okay with you?
That would be perfectly fine.
All right. I do warn you that they do. She gets really close to this. They do. It's a bit stronger than your normal wine because they lace it with a bit of magic.
That makes it even better.
She's a dragonborn.
Okay.
Let's go.
And the bottle's going to be 10 gold if you're asking for the full bottle.
Yeah, I'm asking for the full bottle.
Okay.
We'll split that at the tables.
And the meal is always going to be, for simplicity's sake, unless you're getting super fancy stuff, like filet mignon, the fancy equivalent of filet mignon, all food is just going to be a silver piece, just for simplicity's sake.
10 gold and 1 silver. Okay.
So we have enough food and alcohol for like a party of 50.
Probably not. More like probably 10 to 15. The food, 10 to 15. The alcohol, probably 20 to 25.
Yeah.
And that will be alcohol to get everyone drunk, too, not just, tipsy. You are still tipsy from the 2 bottles of rum you drank, Slizik, so...
Yeah, I'm gonna need a lot, because 2 whole bottles didn't do shit.
You gotta try this Everclear.
Yeah, I'm getting in on that for sure. You should try this cheese.
Oh,
I get my...
I can smell it from here, the both of them.
Yes, the cheese is very dark and pungent. The Everclear, you can almost... If you could taste alcohol almost evaporating when you open it, that's what it's like. It's very strong.
I'll get a shot of that at me, yeah, for sure. Also, pull out my hand axe and start chopping up some of this cheese.
Okay, have y'all done a shot of Everclear?
I have not, no.
It is like agony.
Yes,
Sure.
it's very bad. You usually mix it with punch or something because it just tastes so bad.
It's
Yeah,
well, it's not the taste, it's the burn because it doesn't taste like. I mean, it only tastes like alcohol, but the burn is
yeah,
like
it's
painful.
fucking jet fuel.
It's, I believe it is the closest you can get to having pure alcohol without it being evaporated immediately. Like it's the closest, it's the highest proof you can get while still being in a liquid form.
Does ethanol just evaporate?
Well, no, I don't think that. I think it will over time. Like I think.
Yeah, but I think like 200 proof.
It,
I think that's why 200 proof doesn't exist because it's just a gas. I think.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know about that. I think that's like for chemistry labs. They do have that. I'll double check.
I'm curious. Anyways, uh, we should plan out our day tomorrow. I think while we're all here and cozy. Obviously, I say go down to the docks at some point and check out this connection to the King of Clubs. Although they
Yeah.
probably have gotten wind of our raid.
So basically, it says ethanol cannot be concentrated by ordinary distillation to greater than 97.2% by volume because at 97.2%, the vapor has the same ratio of water to alcohol as a liquid. So basically, it will evaporate instantly at 97.2%.
Jesus.
Ooh.
The more you know. But yeah, I'll just say we should probably head down to the docks and deal with that. And I'd kind of like. Am I crazy to say we should get Alara to come with us to talk to the king about the whole drow situation?
You could, but I think she said that she doesn't go to see the king. The king calls her, and then she goes.
Well, the storm. Yeah, the Stormhaven emissaries don't. So she can come with us.
I'd like her to get used to standing up to these people. Not even standing, like just having a backbone. The poor girl.
Yeah. Well, when you've been isolated and oppressed for 200 something years, just you and your ancestors for 5,000, then, you know,
Yeah, sure. I'm not talking shit about
that's
it.
what that's their situation. Just know where they're coming from.
I know. But she still has to grow a backbone if she's going to lead these people. I think we could give her the moral support.
I think that'll be good as well.
And we could use these drow. I hate to put it into that kind of terms, but just being honest, that's how I see this shit. They seem like they could be a decent to be reckoned with if they kind of got their identity and their selves back.
Yeah, Lara did that thing that made you really fast.
What's her?
If you recall, during the battle, Alara, while timid, did manage to cast a spell on you and
Oh yeah,
Erlen.
that was like the best feeling. That was the second best feeling after that fury. Well, is there? So I guess go down to the docks, deal with that, grab a lair on our way back,
Yeah, I think that's probably the case.
finish our business. Hopefully, hit the road to a death. Savvy, sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna fuck this cheese up. 1 second. Give me some room.
I'm not staying in your room. I'm not staying in your room tonight.
That's very.
And yeah, so you guys, as you're discussing sort of your discussion trails off is when your food arrives, you know, and you guys can dig in, and it tastes very good. The gravy sort of complements and coats the vegetables. It's well seasoned, and the random elf that you grabbed on the side of the street did not lie in saying that you would find this place appealing. It's hearty, you know, food. It's not rich like the kind you had in Stormhaven, but it is still nevertheless very good.
Now, here's the question about that wine that I bought. You said it was laced with a little bit of magic.
A little bit of magic. So you have some magical ability. So
Yes.
you'll be fine the first sort of drink you have, but you'll be doing some Constitution saving throws because this is very strong wine. A little magic gives it some kick.
Okay.
So it just depends on how much you want to drink of this wine.
Start off with.
It's a very dark red, almost bordering on purplish wine.
Can I roll to see how much I go to? Just.
If you want, you can roll a D100 to see how much of the bottle you drink.
For what it's worth,
Percentage-wise.
you probably see Alistair, fucking myself, and goddamn Aja drinking like the world's about to end.
Alright, so you get about you drink about a quarter of the bottle, which is enough to kick in a Constitution saving throw.
Damn.
Okay. Con save. I'm not very good. I'm okay at these.
Oh.
Oh.
So you immediately, sort of as you finish, it does taste very good and very sweet, but that sweetness masks a darkness to it, and that darkness is its high alcohol content, and it surprises you. It sneaks up on you, and as soon as you you keep on drinking, and before you know it, you drink about a quarter of the bottle, but that you are feeling very, very drunk. Like you think if you drink any more, you will pass out.
Okay.
That's the one conscious, thought that breaks through the drunkenness. You're like, I should really stop, otherwise I'm gonna make a fool of myself.
I will stop.
At this point, Aja's probably like doing a handstand on the table with a bottle of liquor. Just chugging.
The dwarves are into it. They appreciate someone who can hold their alcohol, especially a wee tiny lass, as they would call it, like Aja. Because like the dwarven waitress said, dwarves, while stout, are often very wide. So, and they have that sort of dwarven constitution as well that helps them. So, yeah, so they're very appreciative of people that, especially non-dwarves, that can hold their alcohol. And if you do keg stands or the fancy equivalent of it, or get into a drinking contest, there will be cheering you on and stuff like that as well.
Towards the end of my drinking, I'm just gonna be like, can I tell you guys a secret?
Yes.
I hate Odessa.
Why do you say that?
It sucks.
Why does it suck?
Have you ever been there?
I don't think I would have.
Well, you know, Alistair. You fucking know. It sucks.
Odessa? No, it seems to be the most academically advanced city in this region.
I see what you mean, Aja.
Oh, well, hold on. Think of any magical thing that you would like to see. It exists there.
Ooh.
Brothel, magic brothel.
Benches.
Oh my god.
Fighting pit, magic fight pit.
Well, let's hold out judgment until I see it, I suppose.
I will say it's going to be a little tricky. Unfortunate. Going back there.
Oh, because of your dark proclivities?
I mean, here's the thing. Mostly, like, my life is gone. The one I had, the one I knew. With all the people who remembered me and loved me and respected me and all that. No one knows who I am anymore. So, at least they aren't able to judge me for what I did.
What?
It's just all for me. It's all for me to go back there.
What exactly did you do? You mentioned a while back about some experiment. I know you're kind of into biology.
Well,
I think I'm
yeah.
putting two and two together. But what exactly did you do?
That in-law was also purged from my memory. I just know that I was dealing with some darker powers that I shouldn't have in order to gain information and knowledge. And be able to write a thesis that could blow everyone in my department out of the water. And said entity did not appreciate me delving so far into knowledge that mortal men should not be have any access to.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll just walk in.
I'm sure. I don't know that I know what's going to stop me, but it's just memories, or rather the lack thereof, can be rough. Going back.
I don't
I think more or less I know what you're feeling. Sorry, I keep forgetting your name.
Alistair.
Alistair.
Alistair. I left my life to work in the military and felt betrayed by my own command. I was left alone, left with these powers, and quite frankly couldn't stay anymore. Left my boyfriend, left my family. Finally came back home. I don't know. I don't know where I'm at right now.
Oh, we're a damn sorry lot.
Memories are overrated.
Two memories.
Let's drink until they all go away.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, shot.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Yeah, the people from Odessa would know that, magic ability is highly prized there, and if you don't have magic ability, you're kind of shunned by society. So there's a it's kind of like Khazar-El-Dun. There's a definite sort of gap in between the haves and the have-nots, except in Odessa, instead of dwarves and drow, it's mages and non-mages.
Oh, joy.
It's great.
Yeah, so a learned mage like Alistair would definitely say Odessa is a shining beacon and this horrid land of backwards thinking. It'd be a paradise to someone like Alistair.
Oh, joy. Well, I know a cantrip or something.
There you go.
Well, eat, drink, sleep.
Yeah, so you guys, get your rooms. Also cost a silver a night for simplicity's sake. And beds are comfy. There's some rigid. They have some give, but they're still, solid. Definitely not as good as the ones you had in Stormhaven and other fancy places, but definitely better than the stone slabs that you saw in the Undercity. There actually is a actual bed there. So you sleep with relative comfort. And
Before that, I'd go knock on Slizik's door real quick.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, hello. Who's there?
It's Erilyn.
I'll just slowly open the door.
So, I need to ask you for a quick favor.
All right, but
It sounds kind of weird. It might be long term, but the long and short of it is that I took on a bit of an identity as a noble.
I noticed that. Was that what was the name again?
Israelia?
That's right.
I think I think people are starting to figure that out. So I think the best way for me to work through that is to have people actually believe that I have, well, a husband.
I take a drink of something and spit it out just for effect.
Just on the floor in her face.
Not in her face. I turn to the side and do it comically.
A very dignified response. Okay.
sorry. It was just very.
Any,
I just got woken from a drunken stupor and asked to marry someone. It's pretty wild.
anyways, I'm not sure how Dragonborn nobility is taken to here, but I think I think if you were to act like we were in love, would you be all right with that?
I suppose if it helps you out, can you tell me? Just come in for a sec if you don't mind.
I go in for a second.
I'll just close the door. Can you, I've kind of been, on the seas for most of my life. Where are these Dragonborn towns? What, the Dragonborn nobility you mentioned? Tell me.
Well, Dragonborn nobility I think is more or less scattered about, but I come from a town on the Verdane River, bordering between Bryn and Norath. It's small and insignificant. The most of what I try to sell is sell my story to is Odessa.
What exactly did you do that that you're being chased, it sounds like?
Oh no, it's just something to have a better bit of lifestyle, I guess I would say.
A bit of what, sorry? I kind of...
Bit of a lifestyle of opulence.
I see.
And
Well,
it's nothing bad. It's just opulence, and plus it's a noble that nobody really cares about. So if I borrowed their identity, at least it's being used for good purposes.
I mean, I'm all for a good grift. I like this a lot. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I offer out my claw. Just a second.
I'll shake it. Seriously, I'll just say you're part of my crew now. If you need anything,
Kiss him on the, and kiss him on the cheek, and then I
Can,
leave. Just kind of
Dragon-
sell that.
yeah. A bronze dragonborn blush. I don't know if that's a thing.
I think it's I think it's a little darker.
A little lightning comes out. Yeah, I immediately go back to bed. I'm still fucking drunk, probably. I'm probably not gonna
Yeah,
remember this.
you probably will not remember this in the morning.
That'd be fucking old.
Because let's go through what you drank. At least one shot of Everclear, 2 bottles of rum, probably 2 to 3 at least. Cups of pints of dwarven ale, which is strong. Am I missing anything?
I'm drunk on cheese. Does that count?
And cheese. Yeah, so there's a lot of. He's not gonna remember this in the morning, but
Come on, we got. give me something. Give me a roll for it.
yeah, let's do a. This will be a intelligence, I think, to recall information.
Oh fuck! Come on, I don't want to lose that. That'd be shitty.
She can remind you of it. Hey.
Surprisingly good.
Yes. So when you wake up, so you guys have all gone to sleep, and when you wake up, Slizik, you're groggy and slightly hungover.
Yeah.
There is a sudden bolt of clarity, like, oh wait, I might have done something that I'm going to regret in the middle of the night.
Did I get fake married? Oh god. Not again.
All right, I'll leave that up to you guys to sort out.
I guess we just meet in the common room.
Yeah, you guys have the sort of like most taverns, the sort of common like / restaurant portion of the inn is on the first floor. The rooms are on the second, so you even stay on the second floor and you come down. Breakfast is served. just to move the story along, I'm going to say you eat it.
Yeah, sorry, bud.
It's
We've been
similar in style. It's basically meats and cheeses and breads and root vegetables. And there are eggs as well. But yeah, that's sort of what you guys eat. There are probably the dwarven or fantasy equivalent of mimosas or Bloody Marys. So
Excellent.
you can partake in those if you want, or just have. They don't really have juices here because they don't have fruits because they won't really grow underground. But yeah, they do have whatever the fancy equivalent of those are. A morning drink, if you will.
Hair of the dog.
Um,
I'll get some of that.
But yeah, you guys have just eaten breakfast and you have left the toasted beard inn and tavern. It's a new day.
I've got to do my slots and stuff.
Yeah,
Last time I used that Wand of Wonder, dude. Gotta use that.
You can always try it out. I think you were going to try it out during that battle, but you were hasted instead, so that took precedence.
Ooh, Wand of Wonder.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet. It's gonna be a
It is.
nightmare.
He has a Wand of Wonder. It has, in my previous campaigns, has been deemed a Wand of Fuckery. Because of its random effects. So it might have a new name, Wand of Awesome. I don't know.
Wand of Wonder.
Shall see.
Here.
The very first time they did, not this campaign, the very first time they used it previously, they were in a small room and they cast Fireball and it blew them all up. So it was sort of tainted from then on.
Yeah, naturally.
But yeah, so far nothing bad has happened when you have used it. So it's like, you've used it a few times.
Bad
I
in
have?
quotes.
I think so. You used it at least once, I think.
I don't think so, man.
Really? I could have
I don't
sworn
know.
you used it at least once. But I may be mistaken.
I have a terrible memory, so I could be wrong. I'll keep that in mind. I suppose we probably just to get it going here, we all just eat and head
Yeah, you guys
down.
have left the inn now. You've eaten,
Yeah.
so you're ready to start the day.
Let's head down to the docks, I guess.
All right. Is there any other places you want to go, or just going to go to the docks?
Yeah, I think the plan was to go to the docks and deal with that, and then pick up Alara on our way back up, and then go talk to the king.
Okay. You head on down to the docks. You take the side road. It's still paved, of course, but it's wider, or just as wide, strangely enough, I'll say that, as the main road, sort of to accommodate all the cargo that's being moved. This is where they get, outside of getting, imports by land, by the water, so to speak, is the other way they get it. So the roads here are wide to facilitate loading and unloading of cargo and things like that. As you get closer and closer to the docks, you begin to, not exactly smell because it's fresh water, Slizik, but you begin to hear, sounds that remind you, that are familiar to you of...
Oh, that's not good. I think I'm cursed now.
Oh, yes,
Does
of course.
Susan look out of sorts after
So-
his night?
You begin to hear these sounds that are familiar to you, like people, like sailors working, cursing, laughing, drinking, and you get this, your skin starts to feel really itchy. And as you're itching it, you reach into your bag just to clutch your coin purse very tightly to your body, and you begin to sort of look around quickly and furtively at anyone who approaches you or gets too close to you. And your pupils change from their normal color to sort of a golden tint as well. And as your curse begins to manifest.
Guys, it's happening again. Don't make any sudden moves towards my purse.
What
Don't snort any fury.
I mean, it's on the table. We're about to maybe fight some people. We'll see.
So if you look at this money sickness,
I My curse, yes.
Maybe there's someone in Nurse who can sort that out for you.
Certainly hope so. Although, a god's will is usually not super easily.
You still feeling all right after that hit of fury?
Oh, the fury was the best part of my day. I was fucking massive. It was great. I'm kind of sad now. I'm paltry in comparison, but it'll have to do. No, I'm feeling the effects. It's a long story. Being around water makes me weird. Put it that way.
Okay.
Yes, salt water has a more profound effect on you, but luckily you are by fresh water, so the feeling is it's lessened.
Excellent. So what was our inn like? We just knew that it came from the docks in general, or like that gas.
Well, yeah. So basically, the gas, the bottles branded on the, well, not branded, but like etched into the glass or however it is. You know how glass blowers leave a mark or whatever.
Right.
On the bottom of their usually cups and stuff like that. On the bottom of those, there was a club, like from a suit of cards, and that's sort of what clued you in to the King of Clubs being behind this. But you also know that you've killed him, so he is dead. And I believe you questioned the Drow and said that the shipments have lessened recently. But you can still investigate here as well. There are ships of different sizes and makes and models. The dwarven style is usually sort of rather boxy. It's still like, I don't know this. I don't know if aerodynamic is the right term, but the term for cutting through the water for a boat.
Mm.
It is the bare minimum required to sail, basically, because they like their things boxy and sort of like that. Whereas there are a few elven ships here, or in the elven style, and those are more graceful and elongated, and humans are somewhere in between.
Can I use my pirate eyes to see if any of these boats may be like a smuggling kind of thing?
Give me a perception check.
Boop.
All right. So because you're a pirate and you've been to Rydal and you've seen sort of the types of ships that they employ there, usually older, non-conspicuous, but still like beneath the hood is some serious, I don't know, the ship equivalent of horsepower, but you think you spy one such ship that meets the criteria that you have in your mind. It's sort of in the back, sort of hidden by the larger ships that are at dock. But once you get closer, you see that there are some guards on the ship, as is that's not out of the ordinary. Most ships at least have a skeleton crew on board, while the rest are on shore leave. But these, you see, these are rough type individuals, square,
Couple of tough boys.
square jaws, not clean or close shaven or close cropped hair, dark armor, very imposing looking, tough, buff boys. And they're sort of scanning the crowd around the ship.
I'll just point it out to my companions there. Smuggling ship. It'll probably be that one. Do we go in loud, or what's our plan here?
We always go in loud.
Yeah, I don't know why I asked.
It is the go-to.
I would have we could test out our arrangement, Slizik.
Oh god, yeah, that's right.
Just
What?
Oh shit.
portray ourselves as a wealthy couple. We get taken on board.
What?
Portray as a wealthy couple, get on board, we'll case it out, and then set fire to it.
I would probably know. Smugglers probably aren't gonna let like noblemen on their fucking
No.
boat, are they? Yeah.
Probably not, especially if you come across. They might let if you're trying to say like I know who you are like, but I want to like join your crew. They might.
I have an idea. I think I can, because my crew is pretty well known, right?
Yes, your crew
Might
was.
be able to kind of intimidate these little boys and find out some info from someone. Perhaps.
Yes, yeah, you can always try this D&D, man.
Oh, fuck it.
It'll require some rolls, but yeah, you can always try. So you sort of do you go alone, or do you like or and the party lags behind, or do you all sort of come up together?
I mean, I think who could pass for a pirate here? Like Aja, maybe?
Yar!
No, absolutely not.
I believe that's what they say.
That
I
is true.
smell kind of like a pirate, don't I?
Yeah, that's very true. How about Aja and I can go in and just we have to establish that it's the King of Clubs. I don't really give a shit about smugglers in general. But if we find anything, we can give you the signal, and it'll be someone screaming really loudly as my maul destroys
My face
the
or my spleen.
And they turn into
Yeah.
a giant red splatter.
Yeah, exactly. If you hear yelling or cracking
The sound
a lot
of,
people turning,
a heavy
Yes.
maul smacking wood, then yes.
or a lot
Alright.
of people just turning into ash.
yeah, you'll know it when you see it. What do y'all think?
Well, Shaw?
What could go wrong?
Oh boy,
That is
it's gonna be
that
fun.
is famous last words, and
I love fighting on a hangover. Let's do it.
all right, you stroll up. Are you secretive in your movements, or do you stroll up like you're supposed to
No,
be there?
I am summoning up all the machismo and intimidation that I can. I walk. I don't walk. I fucking prowl up to that thing.
Yeah, you strut.
Yeah, I strut.
You're flexing on the way. Like not flexing, but like you're like like rolling the shoulders, like
Yeah.
getting the kinks out, like cracking your neck and your
Yeah, I'm
knuckles,
growling at people that come too close. It's
Yeah.
fucking very offensive.
and you got swagger going on. And
Yes.
it's sort of as you get closer, there's an obvious like dead space in between the boat and the gangplank, and the crowd that's working. And sort of when you enter into that dead space where there's no people, one of the tough boys on the ship, there's two of them. They both notice you and say, "That's far enough there."
How many? I'm just gonna quickly case the joint. How many people do I see, and do I see anything of note that might betray who owns this thing?
What was the end part?
Do I see anything that would indicate who owns this boat?
You don't see any colors or a flag or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which is obvious if it's a smuggling ship.
All right. How many boys are there?
You see two on deck. There might be some more below, but for now you don't see any lights on or anything like that. So, you do see two. These are they're both human and they're very, large individuals. Not as big as you, of course, due to the racial differences, but still a slab of a human specimen.
And what they say?
They said, that's far enough there.
I'll just keep walking.
Who are you? And what do you want?
Where's the captain here?
Captain is not here at the moment.
Well, I'm sure you boys won't mind if I just kind of look around, will you? I'll just step onto the boat.
Okay, so when you step onto the gangplank, they sheathe their they unsheathe their weapons. He says, "You deaf? I said, that's far enough."
My name is Slizik Salazan, now captain of the Storm-Cursed, son of Doxon, and you'll get the fuck out of my way before I tear you limb from limb.
So they look to each other, and they say, like like that, like, are you
Mom.
sure? And then basically they say, and then their weapons are still like partially out of their sheaths. They listen here. Let's be reasonable. Like, give me an intimidation check, by the way, before this
Yeah.
happens. That'll be a roll. Sorry, before I start RPing without rolls. This is D&D after all.
Do I have advantage because I mentioned my ship or anything? I'm fishing
I would
here.
say yes. You have advantage due to your ship, what you have said.
Oh my
All right,
Christ.
yeah, 21 is great. Their weapons, they were drawing their swords and their weapons, so to speak. They don't sheath them, but they also don't further drop them out. They just pause in their movement. I'm gonna say, listen, we don't want any trouble with the Storm Cursed, okay? Our captain isn't here. He's on shore leave. He's in that whorehouse right over there. Okay? You come
Can
back
I,
with him, we'll let you on the ship.
What do you think, Aja?
Should we get on the ship? I mean, why not?
Yeah, I can just kind of push these guys out of the way. Sorry, fellas, that deal doesn't quite do. I'm gonna have to take a little look around. I think might be working for some of my competition here. Boy, I sure hope that isn't the case because that would make me very angry.
So with that, I say, I'm trying to think of how, because they're big tough, I'm trying to RP this correctly. I say,
They are scared.
yeah, they are scared. They say, listen, we ain't trying to start any trouble with the Stormcast. If we are, let's say, if we are working for for someone in direct competition to your crew, we apologize. We're just middlemen, you see. We facilitate things.
What kind of
If
things
you
would that be?
all sorts of things, whatever people want but can't buy through normal means.
And what if I was interested in buying a little bit of fury in gas form?
More glances.
Can I insight?
Yeah. That's not your greatest skill, but yeah,
No, sure isn't.
insight.
I don't have advantage, so that's a -2.
Man, you rolled a 1 on that. That's what that
Yeah.
means.
Oh shit.
Ooh. So you don't get anything from that, but they say there has recently been a surplus of fury that that our company happened to come across and being entrepreneurs, we felt it necessary to supply those that wanted it. Just business.
What's your cut, huh?
Let's see.
Yeah, Nate.
I'm trying to see. I'm not from. Strangely enough, I've never trafficked on the black market, so I don't know what the cut is. But let's just say, standard, certain substances that are very dangerous to transport, and we take that into account in our cut. So if we were transporting fury, it would be 50% would be our cut.
And where would that other 50% get put up to? Who's above your heads?
I'm sorry, I
Someone in
misspoke.
Rydal,
They basically upcharge 50% of what the market value is.
Ah, I see.
So,
And your boss, he wouldn't happen to be out of Rydal, would he?
this is most men in our profession are out of Rydal in these here parts.
Let's just, I'm losing patience here. You work for the King of Clubs, don't you?
No, he's dead.
He sure is. That's a very good point.
No one works for him anymore.
Then where are you getting your supply from?
Persuasion check.
Can I intimidate it?
If you're still being intimidating, yes, you can intimidate as well.
Always. Fuck.
He says. So that's. You're still, he's still taking everything into account. That's good enough. Like, it's not great.
Sweet.
Listen, let's just say that the King of Clubs had his fingers in a number of pies, and that's what got him. But when he was 6 feet under, all those pies were still there for whoever came along to pick them up. You get my meaning?
Oh, I understand it perfectly. By the way, I buried him far deeper than 6 feet, but that's a story for another time. Who is picking up this particular pie and transferring this gas to this particular city?
He says, some of them, he says, I don't know who's, he said some blue-skinned knife ears wanted some, and we supplied them with it. I didn't realize they were in competition with the Storm Curse. They just seemed like a ragged bunch of elves.
You got a written itinerary or something on a map?
Like, what do you mean? Give me more information so I can... Like, what are you asking for specifically?
If they have their itinerary written out on a map.
He says, listen, little lady, we just bring the stuff from where we have it stashed, and we bring it here.
Who said that?
We bring it here, we dock, and the drow come and they get it and they leave. That's what we do.
Oh God, excuse me. Are you the only ship operating in this
Where
city?
it goes from here, I couldn't say. He says, well, according to the captain, we're the only ones that found that particular pie of the King of Clubs is.
Oh, good. So it's just you I have to deal with. I'm going to hit him with my malt.
Oh, Lord. Well, they are still in attack mode, sort of, so it'll be initiative still.
Alrighty. Oh, God, excuse me.
And this will be, I'll roll for them, too. There's two of them.
Are we all rolling for initiative, I guess?
Yeah, you can all roll for initiative. There are two of them.
Okay. Okay. Well,
You guys are about 30 feet behind, so it'll, you'll have to use up your movement. We're just going to theater of the mind this.
Cleaning up the streets.
And waterways.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, that's a great way to start.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely did get that long rest in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we were in their boat, right?
Yes. So they're technically on the boat, and you're like on the gangplank, like a foot from the boat. So you're still within stabbing range, so to speak.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go for them. Initiative. All right.
I
So
just want to say for the record, every time we've tried to be quiet, it didn't.
Well, this time
you came in there obviously confrontational, okay? And
Yeah, I
then
was
he took
planning
the
on
first
messing these
swing.
guys
Let's
up.
put it that way.
Yeah, I shot first. I was definitely planning on messing these guys up from the get-go.
So, Alistair, you saw the tent situation from afar. You saw the men reach for their weapons, but then stop, half drawn. And they talked for a bit with Slizik. Slizik was going sort of more and more agitated with the situation. And then all of a sudden, he just pulls out his maul and, begins to swing. And that's when you spring into action.
And 4 people go before me. God damn it.
Oh dear.
No, I just thought of a way I could have tucked out of this. Oops.
Yeah, I don't think old Alistair with his -1 charisma is going to be talking his way out of this one. So I'm like 30 feet away.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just position myself so that I can get both of them in this cone, and I'm gonna unleash the dragon hand gauntlet on them.
Is that 15 foot, or is that could be?
Yeah, it's a 15-foot cone.
Okay, so let me draw this map for you, so you guys can see what's going down. So basically, I'm gonna draw around Odessa to some free spot. They're on a ship,
Are we just gonna roll these guys?
probably.
Is this worth doing?
This is the
then?
gangplank. Okay, this is the ship where the goons are. This is the dock where you guys are at. Okay, Slizik and Aja are like right here, almost on the ship, and they're like right here in front of them. So it'd be very difficult to get them both in a cone without hitting Slizik and Aja.
Okay. Could I just hit Slizik and them then?
That's fine.
Probably.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
So you run closer to you within that 15-foot range of your dragon gauntlets, and you point it at them, and its mouth opens, and that frost begins to build, and then it expels it in a cone.
No.
You'll be all right.
And a Constitution saving throw from Slizik and the goons. The goon 1 will get
Fuck.
21
Ooh.
and 11. So saves for half.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this what kind of saving?
Con
Oh,
save. So you
Am I
take
right?
11
Yeah.
cold damage, Slizik.
Ah!
One of them takes 5, and one takes 11.
I don't need to roll that.
No, you didn't get hit.
He angled it so it misses you just barely. Like you see it
Wait,
pass in front of you.
Cold damage?
Yeah.
Yes.
My armor of frost.
You're resistant, my dude.
Yes.
So you take
Which
5.
is what I planned.
Yeah.
You did not remember that at all. But yeah, you see like the water below you that's sort of still in this area of the dock begin to like a light frost and freeze go over and it travels up the side of the boat and envelops these goons as well as like wings the shoulder of Slizik.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to do a bonus action, good sir? Because you only use an item. You have not used a spell yet.
No, I don't have too much in the way of bonus action spells. I don't feel like Misty stepping, so I'll stand my ground.
All right.
And no one got hurt yet, so.
Well,
Slizik's hurt a little bit, but I don't know if you want to kick out a healing word to him or not.
Yeah, are you healing word hurt, though? I mean, come on.
He's missing 5 health out of like 60, so...
Yeah.
Sorry, 63.
oh yeah.
Aja. Danger close.
Yeah, we're fighting on a gangplank. This is not optimal.
And the gangplank
Wow.
is 5 feet wide, so you can back up. But you'll need to disengage. Unless you want to take an opportunity attack against you.
Let me make sure I can hit one of them first. So I'll go for Goon 2.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, man.
Oh,
And the sneak. Damn.
okay.
Yeah, you just point blank fire. He's wearing a dark leather armor. Just goes dunk right into this like center of his chest, and he actually takes a step back due to the force of that. That's like almost. I think that's almost max. Yeah, max damage for the bow and almost for the sneak. Damn.
Jesus.
I suppose I'll do the smart thing and bonus action disengage.
All right. Hey, get back here! Wait, you're too quick. All right. Goon 1's turn. He goes, "Damn you, woman!" They take their frustrations out on Slizik because they can't pass him. They do have like small like bucklers, like shields. And they're trying to push you with that. Is it?
Jesus. All of this happened before my swing. Like I went to go swing at everyone.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you can't surprise someone who's like staring at you and like already in a ready state.
I'm just still.
If you
hungover,
came
I'm
up
real
like,
slow.
"Hey, let's be friends, let's just talk it out," and then stab them, I would have given it to you. But they were like ready for you to do something.
No, just the image is funny. Hit
Okay.
me, baby.
So they're basically trying to knock you back so they can run over you and get to your friends, basically. So they had 21 to hit, which will hit you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, certainly.
It's only 6 bludgeoning, and you'll give me a strength saving throw.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So you're not knocked prone. You just rock on your heels and come back, and frustrated, he lashes out. It says spear, but he's going to be using a short sword because it makes more sense for that. 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That's 13 piercing.
Ouch.
Let's see. Jabs the short sword forward. But that's his turn. Slizik.
Oh goodness. I'll finish my attack now, I guess.
It is a large maul versus a
started
short sword.
But I started like 18 seconds ago and is now finally coming around. Can I swing through people? Is that a thing in D&D?
If you get a critical strike, I believe, or down someone with Great Weapon Master, you can attack again as a bonus action. But I don't think
I see.
just naturally. I think there are some homebrew magic items that allow you to do so, but raw, I don't think you can.
Okay, no problem. I'm going to swing at the one.
The one on the right that Aja shot is the most
Yeah.
wounded.
I'll do that, and I'll do reckless and great weapon.
Are you going to rage?
It's almost not worth it, honestly. Yeah, I might as well. I guess I have 4 of them. Fuck it.
All right. You've gotten hit with a shield and stabbed, and that rage comes up, and you get attack with your maul.
Kia!
23 does hit. And you're
It's
adding
-5 to all these.
Okay. So the second one will miss, but the first one definitely will hit.
Okay, and that should be +2 damage on that.
Yeah, so 14 plus 10 is 24 for the first
and
hit.
does that kill him?
It does not.
Okay,
But-
I'll zap him then.
He is close. Probably
I'll
not
zap
zap
him
kill
and-
close, but
Oh, okay, then I'll just hit him again.
we've already attacked twice.
No, oh yeah, I did. You're right. What am I
Yeah.
talking about?
You can still zap. Your zap is a free action, so you might as well just always do it. I believe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it is. Yeah, I'll just zap him.
All right, dex save for him. Got a 14. He met it, so he only takes half.
Shit.
He is heavily wounded, though. Are you good right here up in their face, or do you want to... You
Oh,
can't
yeah,
move
this is where I
through
wanna
them.
be.
All right.
I'm A-okay.
Erlen.
Okay. Who's closest to me right now?
I'm going to have you, like, this is relative positions of everyone. Just move you down
Okay, so-
there.
So move me up to the dock. I'll move up to the dock.
Yeah, you can pass through party members if you want to, so you can...
No, I'm fine right there.
Okay.
And I'm going to some Eldritch energy conjures in my hand,
Oh boy.
and I cast 2 beams of Eldritch Blast. Let's start off with the one on Goon 2.
All
See how
right.
he does.
This might...
Oh.
No. He is... That hits him, and he gets shot. The force knocks back his shoulder, throws back his shoulder, but he's still up.
Once more.
I apologize. I did 24 damage to that guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
If your second attack hit him, you would have killed him. But
I just wanted to make sure. I forgot to say.
yeah, so oh man, he is clean. Actually, no, 13 will miss him. So that one flies wide and blows a chunk out of the mast that's behind them. Oi! Watch the ship!
That's their concern.
Hey, blew a chunk out of the mast.
That's the end of my turn.
Goon 2, heavily wounded, tries to shove you. The same thing that the first one did. Shield bash coming at you. 9's not gonna hit you. You just parry with your maul. Comes in with the short sword. 24 will hit though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you have it though, so it's only 5 piercing.
yeah.
You just won't die.
Which one did that?
2.
Yeah, as a reaction, I cast Hellish Rebuke.
Does it have to be against? Is it against you or is it against anyone?
It says it in response to being damaged by a creature. Never mind, I misread that. Never mind.
That'd be
That
rad though.
was. Never mind.
There's a cleric ability that I don't think it damages, but it forces him to attack with disadvantage.
Never mind. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, you're fine. What are you doing, Alistair? I don't know what shid is.
It
Or
looks
you
a
just
bit
misspelt?
shit.
Another word?
Let's see.
Where you wrote ship, it looks like shid.
Oh. The P is hidden by them. It's a very small tail. Look, it's there. It's just very small.
How are they looking?
2 is on his last sea legs, so to speak. But 1 is pretty good.
Okay. I'm gonna do. Let's do a scorching ray. only with acid.
Oh man, you don't like these people. They didn't. Keep
They're
in
dealing
mind.
drugs
Yeah.
in my neighborhood.
I'm
Neighborhood
gonna,
watch.
if I can I do one at the hurt guy and then two at the looking all right guy?
All right. 13's gonna miss.
Oh,
Oh
Fuck
no.
this.
Okay, 19 does hit, and it
All right.
begins to burn his armor. He he tries to pat it and realizes it starts burning his gloves, so he starts brushing it away with his short sword instead. Get it off me!
I don't know why I bothered. It fucking smells like this stupid. Oh.
Oh! Alright, Aja's turn.
he's still alive? Oh my god.
He missed the goon 2. He said one, the first one to goon 2, the second two to goon 1. Aja.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go for Goon 2.
Yes, that hits. And it goes right into his eye zone. It just thunk right in, and he just falls down dead.
Bad day.
Slumps onto the deck with a thud. You bastards!
Hugs not drugs, asshole.
Still a bonus action, Asha.
I'm gonna do a little shooty towards the other one.
You won't get sneak attack on this, but still 10 damage is no joke for that's max damage again for a hand crossbow. This one hits him in his shoulder.
And I think I'm just gonna throw out a one-liner and say, Bon voyage, motherfucker.
Nice. Nailed it. Slizik laughs a lot.
Okay, his turn. Damn you! What was it say? I don't know what a fantasy thug name would be.
Aaron.
Sketch.
Sketch.
Stay with me, Sketch. Stay with me. And he shouts out for his partner in crime. Damn you to the hells! And he tries
I
to
like Sketch a lot.
yeah, shield bash and then stab you once again. They're kind of one tricks, but you know.
Yeah, get at me, guy.
25 to hit.
Yep.
Yes. Strength saving throw.
Alright. I have advantage on those.
Yes. You'll still take 3 bludgeoning damage as well after your resistance. Yeah,
Fuck
easily.
off me.
Once again, you just roll with it, and you don't get pushed back. And he's just die, and he thrusts his spear at you. 18 to hit.
Yes.
All right, so you will take 6 piercing from that.
Shit.
Yeah, his health he's about halfsies now. 37 out of 63. That's what Slizik's at. He notices you're about blood. He goes, not so tough now, are you?
I'll just look down at his spear in my chest or whatever and just smile. Yeah, but now it's my turn. Excuse me, I'm sick right now still. I'll reckless great weapon the whole deal.
All right. Okay.
-5.
So yeah, the -5 will make the 18 miss, but the first one will hit. You're raging, so that is 26 damage.
You betcha.
Now keep in mind you still have your
then,
bonus action and your shocky ability too.
I will shock him. I don't think I have a bonus action.
You do have a bonus action with your weapon.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'll use my thunderous smite.
We'll just say that you did that but forgot to use it.
Sure.
And it would have applied the first time you hit him. So just go ahead and roll that damage there, and he'll roll the save to not be knocked back or pushed down or whatever it does.
Well, that's terrible.
That is
Literally
not-
2 ones.
Yeah, that is not great. This crack of thunder comes as you hit him with it, and a strength saving throw from him. Oh, he critically failed. So he is pushed back, and he is knocked prone. Unfortunately, that'll give an advantage against ranged attacks. Or, sorry, you will attack with a disadvantage.
I'll take 1 step and then I'll zap him.
You bastard!
Bzzzt.
Alright, con saving throw, or dex save, sorry. 13. Man, he is well past bloodied. He's struggling, he's on the ground trying to get, he's taking grievous wounds, trying to stand up. He's just like kind of almost like just rolling on the ground, trying to get up in a sitting position. Erlen, it is your turn.
I'm just gonna shoot. I'm gonna shoot the.
Now
Goon
keep in
one
mind,
again.
because he is prone, you have disadvantage on the ranged weapon attacks, or ranged attacks.
Then we have to cross the bridge then.
Yes. It's 5 feet, it's no issue. It's 5 feet across, so you can just walk across. It's no
I'll
problem.
walk across, and then I'll just take 2 swipes.
Alright. Do you want to hex him beforehand, or use anything else?
No, I'm just gonna attack him.
One-handed.
So one-handed, yes.
Alright, that definitely hits.
Okay.
You actually have advantage when he's prone, so you can roll again
Oh,
and fish
yeah.
for crits if you want.
All right, let's try. Let's see what advantage.
And if they
is.
both hit, you get to choose
Oh.
which damage you want.
I'll keep the 9 damage, and then the second one at advantage. 25.
25 will-
slash.
That'll hit.
Holy.
He is. You can see the life
God.
and light fading out of his eyes, but he's still alive, and he just barely. I'll get you for this.
Yeah, sure you will.
Okay, Alistair.
All right. He's down.
He's still alive. He's prone.
Takes a lot of balls to talk
He has
shit when you're literally dying.
single-digit health left.
So you're not going to stop.
No one has asked him to stop. It's been clear so far. It's been a fight to the death. No one has tried to say surrender or anything. You're the first one.
All right, I'll say we can call it here, right? Doesn't feel good.
What did the Stormcast want with us? We didn't do anything to cross you.
Wait, what
No.
what happened? What happened?
Well, they're dealing drugs in my turf.
What?
These are
What?
the ones that supplied the gas to
Oh.
the drow.
For the record, all of the waterways are Slizzic's turf.
Yeah, that's very true.
Stormcast can't control everything.
Well, I do what I can. Nice
Oh,
kneecaps
yes.
you got there.
Yeah, you are responsible for so many innocent people dying, and you will probably be responsible for a whole lot more.
That's what I do.
No, I was talking to him. That wasn't a compliment.
A little bit of both, actually. A little comment, a little comment.
That's actually funny.
I like how he replies. That's so Slizzic.
Not a compliment. Fully not.
Listen, we just facilitate the transport of goods. We're not responsible for what happens afterwards.
No, you are, because it wouldn't have happened without you.
If I sell a guy a sword, I'm not responsible if he uses it to murder someone.
Oh boy, we could get into a whole political discussion here.
I mean, we certainly could, but I don't think you're in the state to argue philosophy
He's
right
bleeding out. He's trying to keep all of his organs
What does it
where they're
mean
supposed
to be evil? When we get down to it.
What are your thoughts on necromancy?
Yes, you shouldn't be doing that anymore. It's awful. I think a key difference between the sword analogy is that those can be used for self-defense, and this is just a chemical weapon that you're developing or selling, rather.
I say we take him with us. We get him to point out his boss, and we get the guards
Yeah,
to arrest
the
him.
guards, strangely enough, the guards are
Nice.
are approaching you, trying to figure out what is going on, because you did, make an explosion that echoes for 300 feet.
That was a signal.
Sounds of fight have broken out.
We can take this one, tell the guards what's happened here, and find the boss as well.
Yeah, they're shoving the crowd out of the way. It's like, nothing to see here. Go back to your business.
Does that sound all right?
Sounds alright to me.
Guards, over here. Bit of a situation, if you can't tell.
Right, what's going on here?
We are the blessed emissaries of Stormhaven, and I had a suspicion that this was a smuggler's ship, and I was correct. They've both admitted to this. I think you should take this man into custody. He says his captain is nearby. We capture him as well, and we get these assholes off the
He
streets.
says, I would love to believe you, but I need material evidence if I'm going to hold these people.
What about this guy's confession? Hey guy, you a smuggler?
Yes, just keep me away from these murderers.
There you
Just
go.
a couple of good guys from Stormhaven.
Clear as day.
They killed my best friend.
Yeah, Scudge was his name. So cracks me up. Well, they resisted. They resisted arrest. So, it had to be done.
And they say, is there any more of these? Is there any more of those smugglers on board? Sorry, it's not dwarven at all.
Sure it is.
He's asking if there's any more on board the ship.
I don't believe so, but it might be worth checking out.
Right,
If you want to leave a
You
couple
lot-
men here.
you lot, search the place. You, take him. And we'll need to get your statements down at the station.
First, we should get the captain. He's in a nearby tavern. Right. I just look at the guy.
Yes, I need a medic. All me insides are supposed to be in me insides.
Yeah. Right. Well,
He had 5 health left out of 80, so yeah, that's why he's like that.
help us identify your captain, and these nice guardsmen will be able to help you out.
Yeah, they're trying to dress his wounds and try to give him this in a sort of stable, not
He'll be fine. Jeez, such a whiner.
state. I think I have internal bleeding.
I mean, that's where the blood's supposed to be.
So they cart him off.
Well, we gotta identify the captain.
Yeah, cart him off to the whorehouse that he's mentioning, and he says, I don't know what room he's in, but he basically gives the captain's sexual preference to the dwarves, and they go inside and they come out 5 minutes later with a half naked man who's protesting, saying, Gods, I've done nothing wrong. I'm engaged in consensual, albeit paid, sex with a woman. And they're like, you've been accused of smuggling and all this sort of stuff. And they sort of cart him away.
Well, that was fun. good day. It's not even
Needless to
noon.
say, this session did not go like I expected, but that's the fun of D&D.
It's still like 10 fucking in the morning.
Yeah, it's still like 10 or 11 in the morning. You got a, bright and early start. A little bit of murder in the morning to, wake the old
Gave her
bones
that
up.
hangover. Yeah, I'm sober now. That's great. Or
Well,
not.
here, have a celebratory drink.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, you're at the dock area. There are a bunch of bars and whorehouses here to appeal to the sailor. Mainly rum
Yeah, we
and
got-
spice rum they'd be selling, of course. But
Got more important shit to do at the moment. I'll pull myself away. Also, Alistair mentioned magical whorehouses, and that's kind of been stuck in my head. Kind of want to get to it.
oh yeah, they got the magic touch in Odessa.
Oh,
Mage hand. Okay. Think of
Man,
what they
those
can
kids
do
at
with that.
Hogwarts must have been doing some wild shit. Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess let's go find Alara on our way back to the palace.
All right, and on the way, you can tell us what the fuck you and Erlen were talking about earlier.
What about what?
Being a noble couple.
Oh, right. Well,
Look, it's not entirely strange. It's just we get more access to better we get access to better stuff by fudging the truth a little bit.
Like better whorehouses? What?
I look at Erlen hopefully.
Look. You want to live in dirty? You want to live in inns, or would you rather be living in luxury?
What's wrong with inns?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just that if you have the opportunity, wouldn't you rather take it?
No.
Well, hopefully it can get us into some places that otherwise it wouldn't. Won't lie, you're gonna have to coach me on the whole
Noble etiquette.
Fancy people, kind of how they act and
Guess we got a
stuff.
lot of.
There are so many forks.
So many forks. We'll go from there.
Which one do you use to stab your enemies?
None of them. That's why the rich are so fucking. They're awful.
Yeah, this is losing. I'm slowly losing appeal, but I'll keep my
Look,
hopes up.
it's an option that we have to keep it open at least if we can't just if we're clearly outmatched.
Worth a shot. Let's go track down Alara. Get our business done with in this city.
All right. You do see, going back down to the Undercity. First, you travel to the guard outpost with the guards, where you see the smugglers / pirates in jail. The captain cursing out his crew member, who is slipping in and out of consciousness due to his wounds. You give your statements, and then they say based on your statements and the goods they've found on the ship, they have concluded that they are in fact, smugglers, and they'll be prosecuted as such, and they thank you for your service.
All in a day's work.
What we do.
And then you guys head back to the Undercity. And where are you headed first?
Alara's house, I suppose.
All right. So you go to Alara's house and she is not there. Sort of looking around confused, one of the drow walking by the street says, "If you're looking for Alara, she's not here. She's in the condemned portion of the city. She's leading a team of workers there to demo a house."
Oh, gee. guess let's head over there.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and you travel back to the condemned part of the city where you were just yesterday, and sure enough, she is supervising a work detail, and they are demoing the house that you guys discovered that contraption in that spread that gas into the air.
I'll look around for Alara.
And you see her giving out orders and instructions and stuff like that. She tries to help with the demolition, you see her, but she's not the strongest person, as in she has an 8 strength. So she gets like 2 hits in with a sledgehammer and gets really tired, and then hands it off to someone else. But then she does go back to supervise, but sees you guys and comes over. Says, "Oh, hello, I didn't expect you to be back here so soon."
We just wiped out the remnants of the smugglers who were bringing the gas into the city.
Oh,
We're on our...
that's good.
Yeah, we try. But we're on our way up to speak with the king and make our final, signing treaties and all that kind of stuff. We're also going to try and make a case for you all, the drow that is. And we would really appreciate if you would come with us and make your point. Someone that's lived through this kind of thing and who has been elected as the representative of their people. Well, we'd be remiss not to bring you.
And she's like, she speaks in a low voice, like in a conspiratory tone, but like volume, but not in tone. Sorry. Are you sure? I should come with you. I might mess it up. What if I mess it up? And then things get worse for us down here. And then everyone blames me. And then everyone hates me.
Just when you stand before him, I'm not for one for talking to kings and such, although I find myself doing it often. Just these people here, I'll just gesture to all the people around us. These people are your crew, and they look up to you. And they need you, and they chose you. I think that's all. Just keep that in mind, that you're fighting for them.
There's a big gulp. And she blinks a couple times, and she says, Okay, I'll try. I'll try.
We'll be there with you, don't worry.
Okay. Let's go.
Alistair, could you clean her up a bit?
And then she takes 2 steps and she notices that like her clothes and how they're, first of all, not ornate enough to meet a king. Second of all, dusty and dirty as all hell. And then she goes, I might need a change first.
That's fine. You do what you have to do.
Aye. We'll meet you at the lift. Wait, is there a lift or is it just gonna go up?
It's a ramp, so it's basically how the main street is basically sort of like a spiral staircase that goes around the exterior of the mountain, and the inner portion of that staircase is where the tiers are.
Okay. I'll just say we'll meet her at the ramp then.
Yep. And she comes back. You're waiting for about 10 minutes, and she comes up to you, and she is cleaned up. She's wearing the material of the dress she's wearing is slightly less coarse than the one she had previously on, but the colors are more bright and vibrant, not dull and drab. And she comes close to you. You notice that she also has used some sort of perfume as well. She didn't have time to shower or bathe. She's probably trying to mask the smell, something like that.
I'll clean her up with the precision.
Yeah, she does thank you for your consideration. She explains she just had time to use damp towel, basically.
I'll be honest, I haven't showered in, past 2 years.
Jesus, that's what that was. I thought it was my cheese gone bad.
Oh,
Prestidigitation is just as good.
I'm not familiar with other races. I just assumed that was your natural smell or musk.
What have I been missing, Pops? It cleans you completely.
Yeah.
But you do have to go 1 foot cube by 1 foot cube, so there may have been
Yes.
Does
some
she
mist.
know? She might know prestidigitation, but this might be a new way to use it to her. So let me look at her character sheet really quick.
Energy efficient. Very.
She does know it, so she pulls out a book and begins writing down what you've told her. It's like a notepad. She begins writing down what you told her.
While you're at it, while you're writing stuff down, keep in mind, straight back, chin high, confidence.
All right. Yeah, she writes that down too.
All right, I think we're good to go. Let's get up to the castle.
All right, you guys head up the tiers. You pass by the the first tier, which you just stayed at. The second tier, which is the more wealthy and affluent dwarves live there. Third tier, where the smiths are. There, you run into your friend Brenna, who you saved down in the deep dark, and who now sort of leads the smiths. And she was very excitedly running someplace, but sees you and stops. She goes, "Oh, hello! Are you going to see the king?"
Yeah, we're here for our kind of final preparations before we head out.
Oh, okay. Well, come see us. Come see me before you leave. I might have something special for you.
Oh boy.
Any progress on those gun spears?
Yes, we have had major technological breakthroughs.
Amazing. Cannot wait. We'll be right back to you.
Aye. Well, are we all ready?
Yep. Head on. Head on.
I believe I'm ready.
Let's do this.
All right, and you arrive on sort of the highest tier of Khazar-El-Dun, and it's very like you've been here before. It's very opulent. It's the construction of the buildings here is almost like artwork. It really showcases the stone working capabilities of the dwarves. There's giant murals of the history of the dwarven people of the continent, of the war in heaven, and all these things. It's very beautiful, and you come across once again to sort of entryway into the palace. These giant set of solid metal doors, and the guards were initially going to give you the go-ahead, but they see this figure behind you who has tried to make herself smaller and smaller and smaller the further you got into this opulent place, until she is not quite a small creature, but pretty close. That's how curled up she's gone, and she's sort of hiding in Slizzik's shadow because he's the biggest person around.
I'll just, out of the corner of my mouth, just remember your people.
But they notice this second shadow you have, and say, wait a second, who is that exactly behind your lordships and ladyships? Come out here and let yourself be known.
Step aside.
Yeah, I'll give her a pat on the shoulder, cast guidance.
This would be more like heroism for, but guidance would certainly help if she's trying to make any rolls. But she comes out and she goes, oh. And when they see she's a dark elf, they all go, "Oh!" There's murmurs from the royal guard here, and then she says, "I'm speak up! I can't hear you. I'm Alara Duskrin, and I'm the representative of the Drow people of the Undercity." And they go, and they look to each other, and yeah, the guard captain says, "Well, if she is if she is with the emissaries of Stormhaven, she is free to enter." Big sigh of relief from Alara.
All right. Let's get in.
All right, you head in to the palace proper. These doors airy with nary a sound, and close behind you as well. The only sound they make is the doom as they finally close. And once again, you're in that grand hall. Just columns leading up into the darkness, even past, for those who have dark vision can see, flanked on either side of this long, luxurious carpet you're walking across are towering statues of dwarven heroes and past kings. And you finally make your way once again to this large but low, sort of solid stone table. Is polished to a sheen, and beyond that is the throne, up a small flight of stairs, where the king is seated. In front of him, once again at the table, discussing things. The king will occasionally interject with his opinion. Are his two, probably at this point you can recognize them as counselors or his version of a cabinet. It's the brewmaster. Alara's not here, but she normally would be. Not Alara. Brenna is not here due to her working on the firearms, but she normally would be. But it's the brewmaster, the guard captain, the overall sort of captain of the leader of the guards, the leader of the army, and the brewmaster are here, and they're sort of discussing this treaty. They're looking over it one more time while you guys approach. And the king does not address you because he's the king, and someone will introduce you, and then he addresses you. They say, announcing the emissaries of Stormhaven, and he sort of looks at Alara and purses his lips, and guest. And at that, the sort of the counselors and the king stop whatever they're doing, and the guard captain says, "Welcome, emissaries of Stormhaven. I've come to understand that you have solved a little problem we've been having in the Undercity."
We found a plan by some seedy elements of the Drow underworld that had planned to use some gas called Fury and unleash it upon the Drow populace in an effort to, I guess, make them go crazy, pretty much. Is that right? Am I talking out my ass?
No, that's pretty much it.
You're right.
Yeah. That's pretty much their plan.
Right.
Furthermore, we discovered that there were some elite assassins who were stealthily assassinating people and leaving behind nearly no trace of their deaths. So there appears to be a dark underground trade of this drug with the remnants of the elements of the King of Clubs. Unsure whether or not this trade should continue on, but we were sure that this may have been tied to Norath itself. That's where these could have been implemented against the forces of the combined city-states.
And this, the general of the army says, "Yes, I have heard of this drug called Fury, but never seen it and used myself. From what people say, it can turn the scrawniest of men into a force to be reckoned with. And if Norath was planning on using this, it would not bode well for our forces.
It's possible that other cities on the waterfront are susceptible to this as well. I'm thinking they might be doing this as a kind of wide-scale campaign. Or not. I'm not sure. Just spitballing.
He says, well, we can send word to Rydal for them to watch out for strange behaviors in their populace, but their rulership is more fragmented than ours is here. So I don't know how effective that will be.
Just have to hope. Okay, well, let's not.
On the subject of how we discovered this, none of this would have been possible without the help of our, let's say, this drow representative here. She was instrumental in this and illuminated us to how exactly this society you have here is set up. And I must say, I have some criticisms and some notes.
So the Alara looks terrified, but Hurley makes her way to a bow and a curtsy, and then retreats back behind Slizik. It seems to be his large frame completely encompasses her and hits directly behind him as her place of safety.
I'll
Can I
turn.
just push her to the forefront?
Okay.
You can, yes.
This has been a failure to utilize the resources that have been at your disposal. Now, I'm sure that if you were to have let's say, you had some smiths, and this smith of yours, instead of using the tongs or the forges, attempting to make do with some pliers and a campfire, you would be rather upset with this smith, now would you not? You need to see that these people are capable of a lot more than you're giving them credit for. And it's an utter failure to see what their worth is that's blindsided you and crippled you completely. Why, you could be so much further along in your society and in your place in it if you were to make use of them. And you will need to do so in this upcoming war.
So there are different opinions on the council. This is before your persuasion check. Okay? So the king is just listening, and there is a bemused, not regularly bemused, but yeah, that's probably the best expression, where he's listening to you. There's initially fearful glances from his sort of cabinet, because you don't just, generally speaking, you don't just walk into a king and say, this is what you're doing wrong, basically. But due to his expression, their postures relax. So, because he actually is listening to you. He's not growing angry, the king is, when you speak. As far as the counselor's expression, the brewmaster is kind of indifferent. The guard, the captain of the guard interjects and says, no offense to this one drow who may have helped you in this case, but drow as a whole are a lazy people. They're sneaky and they're sneaky, and they'll lie and they'll cheat and they'll steal. I know. I've worked my way up from a beat cop, fancy equivalent, all the way up to the captain of the guard. I know how they work. That's what he's.
Maybe they wouldn't have to sneak if you didn't push them into the shadows.
Yeah, that's sort of his take on it. The person who's agreeing with you, Alistair, so far, is the general. He says he's listening to what you say, and says, "Tell me how we could use these drow. What do they specialize in?" He's stroking his beard and he's listening to you.
They have an innate magic in them that makes them able to cast certain spells which are extraordinarily helpful for subterfuge, spying, reconnaissance, and any and all nighttime activities which your standard troops may not be able to do. Now,
He says, "Can we see this magic, Miss Duskrin? Was it?" And she says, "Okay." And she's making some gestures with her hands. There are still guards present, and they get immediately like ready to go if she tries anything, because she's still, in front of the king. Says, I'm not doing anything untoward." And then she says, "It's gonna get just really dark for me and my friends. So don't freak out, okay?"
mhm.
And she casts darkness on top of all of you. And herself. She, of course, leaves out the counselors and the guards and the king. And there's "oh" from the captain. There's a "t" from the there's an "o" from the general and a "t" from the captain, the guard captain. He goes, "Making spheres of darkness could help us in infiltration or in retreating or moving troops, especially at nighttime. Is there anything
Gotcha.
else?"
They can see much, much further in the dark. They have excellent dark vision.
No easy way to test that, of course, but it would make sense, them living in the darker places of Khazar-El-Dun.
Especially if you were to consider the range on these weapons. If they were able to fire upon the enemy when the enemy could not see them, that would be extraordinarily effective. Especially if they could utilize some hit and run style tactics, not unlike how horseback archers will want to do.
He's considering. He says, So give me a persuasion roll now.
Oh boy, oh
You have advantage because
Alistair's best skill. Advantage, okay. Persuasion. 14.
Okay, pretty good. And so basically he's the army captain is still on board. Brewmaster is still neutral. Welcome back. It's kind of difficult to recap what's been going on because it's been a lot of RP.
I've been listening.
Okay, so he says, the guard captain says, "My king, I implore you. We don't know. We can't trust these drow. They will backstab us as soon as they get an opportunity. They'll switch sides to the Norathian army, and that will be the end of us." And Alara looks like she has something she wants to say, and she sort of peeks out from Slick's shoulder, and then she goes back in. And then she's been doing this the whole time. She's been peeking out, and then sort of hiding back.
I'll turn around so that my bulk is still like blocking her from vision, and I'll just do like under my own chin. I'll put my thumb under and do the chin up thing, and then I'll stand a little straighter, and then I'll just wait for her to do it and take a breath or whatever. And if she does so, I'll just slowly step to the side.
Yeah, she does eventually notice what you're doing, and several deep breaths before she starts to sort of imitate what you're doing.
Yeah, and then if she looks composed, I'll just kind of step to the side.
She is shaking, but she gives you a nod. And then she sort of steps forward, and she says, "My king, I love this city. I love my people, and even though this guard captain might disagree with me, I do not wish ill on any dwarf. In fact, I want us to have a better relationship. And if it takes this war and us proving ourselves to do so, well, I can't speak for every drow, but that is a cost I am willing to pay." And let's have her give a persuasion check now. With
Does she have advantage because I'm helping? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with advantage. Yours,
She has guidance.
yeah, she has guidance too. Yours wasn't quite enough to persuade the king,
Oh,
Alistair.
Got a fat +0 with the help
Yeah.
of the luck stone.
So she will go. She's a little bit better. She is a sorcerer after all. Yeah, okay, she has advantage and guidance. So she shouldn't flub this, but we'll see. Let's have her roll.
Don't say it out loud with your. Okay.
She got a 25 before guidance. She will use that. There's almost a halo like effect behind her with those little light illuminating her back. That's where guidance kicks in.
geez, that's really good.
Yeah, she got 27. So, the king is nodding to her words, and he says eventually the brewmaster's even coming around now too, and the king just says to the guard captain, "I have heard your concerns. I have also heard the input from our soon-to-be esteemed comrades in arms, as well as the general of our armies and this young lady, and I have considered them all. I think we can treat the drow in this city better in order to improve our relationship with them. And I think that we can make use of their innate abilities in this war to come. War does not discriminate. We will all need to fight together, or we will all fall together, especially in the face of this new technology and dark magics."
Wise words.
And that shuts the guard captain up real quick.
Would it be helpful to procure some of this new technology then? Help understand it for you? And then that way you can fight on a relatively even field.
They have done so. That came before you joined. The new technology is referring to are firearms. And that's what Brennan was so excited about.
Yes.
Because she's working on that stuff. But yes, he says, "Well, I understand it. My Brenna and the other Smiths are working on that as we speak. I think she wanted to speak to you after you signed this treaty. I think after, though, what we have discussed here, we can make some quick amendments to it, if that is okay with our esteemed emissaries and guest."
Which amendments would those be?
And the king gets off from his throne. There's a collective gasp. and he walks down, and essentially adds amendments to what he just said, that they will. The drow will also help fight in this war, using their sort of racial innate abilities. In return, the dwarves that do not go to war will improve their conditions in the Undercity, open up more trade, have reconstruction going on, so long as it doesn't, interfere with the war effort. They'll try to improve as much of the Undercity as they can.
It's a start. Well, I think this is agreeable to us. And thank you for listening.
All right. He says, are there any objections to those who are here to witness such an event? All the dwarves say no because it's the queen. It's the king asking this.
Yeah. Not on
And Lara says no.
Shake my head.
No.
Let's sign this ding dang.
Let us sign this and be done with it.
Hi, we have many more cities to get to.
And so you all sign it, and the king comes up and shakes each of your hands after each of you sign it in turn. And then once the final person has signed, Alair also signs as representative of the drow. He says, now, of course when we sign a contract, this is the king saying, he's got a jovial tone now, we have to celebrate with a drink, of course.
I thought that was assumed.
He says, bring us something to drink. We have talked for a while, we need something to refresh our parched lips with.
Brother.
Yeah.
I just had some imported wine from Odessa.
Oh, come on. It's a special occasion.
All right, if it's a special occasion.
Hey, there we are. Don't worry about that liquor, by the way. We're a walking brewery.
They bring out this dwarven beer that they have.
Oh, excellent.
And it is... Now, I'm not a connoisseur of alcohol or beer, but it is not potent. As in, it packs a punch as all dwarven beers do, but it's not like the strongest dwarven beer you've had. But it tastes the best that you've ever had.
Ooh. That's good stuff. I suppose we cheers first.
Yes, there is a cheer as they celebrate new friends and allies, and a toast, and then you all sort of drink your pint. The king throws his cup on the ground, and an attendant picks it up. It's a wooden cup.
Asshole.
No, they all do. It's a custom. They all drink it as one, and they finish, they cheer again, and they throw it on the ground.
Alright, I guess I do so, looking guiltily at the servant.
You killed a man, like,
Yeah,
not 30 minutes ago.
this is just rude.
This is rude, though. No, the servant comes by and picks up all of yours, or two servants come by and pick up all of your cups and take them away. Ah, that's good stuff.
That's damn right.
He says, now, I know, as much as I would like you to stay for a while and celebrate with us, we've got a lot of work to do, and so do you, I hear.
Yes, I certainly do.
So we'll not keep you further.
I just have one last thing, sorry. We're gonna need a means to get to Odessa. Do you have anyone you anything you could do to help us out in that regard.
Now you have a cart still. It's been stabled
yeah.
here. There's no means by water to get there. You'll have to travel over land.
Forget I said that. It was a pirate joke. Anyways, bye.
He says, you are always welcome back here in Khazar-El-Dun.
I'm sure we'll see you again. Bye.
Yeah, and you guys say your goodbyes. There's, the appropriate fanfare, and then you leave those halls behind you. When you get out, Alara seems to just deflate.
You did it.
What's the matter?
Like, she was almost to the point, like, you've seen this before, when students are trying to summon up the courage to publicly speak, or that you'll grade for them, sort of that sort of presenting a project to you, and then afterwards they just sort of like, just all the stress leaves their body, and so they just sort of go limp for a bit. That's what's happening here.
Well, it's done.
You're people's hero. Congratulations. You did really well. Well, it was a little rough at first, but...
I would like to think I just did what anyone of my race would.
Well, now's your opportunity to prove how valuable you guys really are.
Yes, I'll need to go talk to everyone.
Yeah. Things are going to be maybe a bit rough for a while. Change doesn't really happen overnight, but things will be better. You'll see.
I hope so. But I have to get going. I meant when I said I can't speak for all drow, so we're going to have to talk to them all and see who are willing to help and stuff like that. But you guys got to go to other places, and I got this now. You've done more for me and our people than anyone would have or should have.
Are you certain? Are you certain you can handle it?
She says, speaking to my people after speaking to the Dwarven King should be pretty simple.
Well, good luck then.
I believe in you. We'll meet again, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Lara.
Yep. She sort of
Do good work out there.
picks herself off and then begins sort of not sprinting but like running, down, back to the Undercity.
Don't know why, but I like her a lot.
She's adorable.
Yeah, that's true.
She's got gumption and a good head on her shoulders.
She'll do fine. In the
Hopefully
meantime,
What's up?
In the meantime, what about the rest of us?
On to fucking Odessa.
Well, not just yet. We need to see about the Smiths. They had something for us, remember?
Aye. Let's go see Brenna.
All right. And you go down to Brenna's house, the one you found Alan in, and you open it up, and it's Brenna. She goes, "Oh, it's you guys! I didn't think you'd get it done so quick. Come in."
Go in.
Mm-hmm.
And she leads you.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
who are you?
You can call me Lisa. I forgot my.
Forgot your own fake name and personality. Well, hello, Ereliza. She imitates you perfectly with that. I'm Brenna. I guess I'm the leader of the Smiths now, which means I'm like the Council of Elders or something. But don't mind all that. Come on. You're in Stormhaven emissary too, aren't you? You got that ring on your finger.
More or less, yes.
Okay, well you can come in too. It's a short, stout, short-haired, sort of her hair's kind of like a darkish red, bordering on brown color. She leads you down. Dwarven houses are generally, there's only one story generally on them, but they have an extensive like basement, 2 or 3 stories usually. And so she leads you down to the basement of the first floor, and then you see you see Alan working on something. He looks like very similar to his sister, except his hair is sort of more closely cropped, and his beard, if you can call it that, is patchy at best. Unlike most dwarves who can grow a thick, luxurious, full beard, his looks to be sparse and patchy and thin. And Brett says, "Alon, we got guests." And he goes, and then he turns to face you and says, "Hello. Again. Nice to see you."
Did we meet this guy?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the one that took you down to the Undercity and acted as and the Deep
right,
Dark
right.
acted as your guide. It's Brenna's brother.
Right, yeah. It's nice to see you again.
Hello.
Nice. He turns to face Erlen. Nice to meet you.
Nice
So
to
we
meet you.
heard that there was
This is
a.
Slizzik's wife.
Congratulations.
It's a recent development. We're still kind of working.
Brenna says, "Oh, you move quick, don't you?"
That's how I do. That's what they always tell me.
I was about to say it was rather strange to congratulate someone on having a wife.
Well, when he met Slizzik did not mention his wife,
Yeah.
nor was she present, so he assumed they got married in the interim.
Well, anyways.
You guys were on that lift for about 2 to 3 weeks. You thought he would have brought up at least once then if he had a wife. So that's what his logic is.
So there's a technological development. You understand?
And then she just sort of smirks and says, "Show him, Alan." And so Alan is usually very nervous. Well, not nervous. He speaks with a stutter usually when he's talking to people because he's very nervous around them. But when he talks about things he's passionate about, the stutter disappears. And this is the case when he's talking about this rifle that is ahead of you, on a sort of displayed on this table ahead of you. And he says, "Yes, we got your design from that you provide to us, as well as the blueprints, and we found some design flaws in the Narathian version of a firearm, and we thought we could improve upon them."
Improve.
Yes. I have these written out, so let me find them. I got a lot of tabs, you guys. Give me a second. Okay, 1 second. Okay. He says, while the rifles are able to produce are able to fire a small piece of metal at extreme speeds and do more damage than a traditional bow and arrow, we found that the accuracy, range, and reloading speed were inferior to the aforementioned counterparts. So we sought to improve upon those factors specifically. As far as range goes, oh, I'm sorry, he would say it chronologically how he decided. As far as reloading speed goes, using wad and paper, then inserting the ball and the gunpowder was very tedious, and and cause the firearm to be fired very slowly. We had devised a paper cartridge that we think will that contains the projectile as well as gunpowder to facilitate firing and reloading more quickly. Due to this, we had to change how the barrel was. You now reload it rather than the front from the back.
What?
Yes, it's a
Show me.
breakaway. Is our term for it? Is what the barrel does. It's sort of kind of on a hinge, and you insert the paper cartridge into there, and then you snap it back into one piece again, so to speak. Next was the accuracy and the range. We thought to emulate how an arrow travels in flight, rather than just sort of pushing this ball out. We thought to make it more aerodynamic as well as introduce a spin to it. So we have changed the shape of the bullet as well as introduced rifling to the barrel. These are prototypes, of course. We haven't had enough time to go into mass production, but look them over. I'm sure you'll like them. We have enough for each of you. We have reinforced the end of the rifles as well, and added a rung, so you can attach a knife or a dagger in case the enemy attacks you at close range. We have also created a miniaturized version, which I took the honor of calling a pistol. Its range and damage is inferior, but is more compact.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you pull. I see. You pull this down.
It's basically a breech-loaded, single-shot rifle now.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you do reload it, you just put in the paper cartridge and shoot it.
How are you on the ability to mass produce these weapons?
We're working on that. The weapons themselves are no problem. Gunpowder is the issue.
I see.
Everything else can be constructed via wood or common metal materials. Gunpowder is, due to the components in its construction, is different.
Have you thought on trying some exotic material?
He says, we're currently lacking. Now I gotta look up because I know it's sulfur, saltpeter, and something else. Charcoal? No. Yeah, sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. So they say we can find sulfur and charcoal in ready supply in our mines here. Sulfur we didn't really use because it smelled bad and was gross. Charcoal, of course, used for a ton of things. Saltpeter is the issue.
Where would you find a source of that?
So basically, he says we're looking into it right now, but basically we need to find a lot of bats. And
A lot of what, sir?
bats. We need their poop, their guano.
Ah. I mean, you guys live in a cave or whatever. Should be easy enough.
Yes, we're trying to, we live in a cave, but we still need to find out we're finding an army. We need a lot of bat poop. And we just soak that, we take the bat poop, once we find the bat poop, we have to gather the bat poop and then soak it in water, filter it, and harvest the minerals that form.
There may be a lead in Odessa, actually. Guano is one of the a very important component of many spells, fire-based, of course. But they may already have a system set up. I can inquire there.
That would be most fortuitous.
Now, I've done some thinking, and I have some ideas about how this mass of weaponry can be implemented. Now, these, although they're good in a pinch, these little rungs where you attach these knives will not stand up to a mass cavalry charge. It's still conventional pike weaponry will be very important. So I think a good 50-50 mix of pikemen and gunmen is going to be a solid bet. The first line, the frontward facing force of this box or rectangle can fire, and then the second line can cycle out, and then this can continue for as many rows deep as we need.
Oh, you're talking about battlefield formations. I'm afraid I'm not too well versed on those.
Would it be possible to make a larger version of this for something like ships?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Possibly, but we were just trying to improve upon the initial design before we tried to make different versions, larger versions that we can use as siege weaponry, which could also be attached to ships, I suppose.
My head just goes to ship combat immediately. That's what I do. Something to look into, though.
But we wanted to at least get these prototypes done before we start mass production so you can take them with you on your journeys.
I'll take one if it looks like a flintlock pirate pistol. Otherwise, never.
So it doesn't, but we can say it does if you want one.
I find one.
So basically, everyone can get either a pistol or a rifle, and what they do is 1 second.
A pistol, but can we take some test shots with it?
Yes. We have a range down here. We are in an enclosed space. It will be quite loud, so that we have ear protection. But 1 second, I will find that. Here we go. Campaign specific items. Yeah. So the bayonet cannot be attached to the pistol, but it is for those one-handed folks. I'll put this in the Discord. It'd probably be better. There we go.
Dang.
So basically, they do, and they get the one better die than their, equivalent, so to speak.
Sweet.
Okay.
Or not. I think it's better than that. But anyway, that's what I have right now. And yes, you can test them out in the field. And if you have any design notes for me, be sure to send them back. You do have a sending spell.
Do I?
Does anyone have the sending spell?
I absolutely do not know.
No.
That is most unfortunate. Well, you're going to Odessa next, right?
That's correct.
If you happen to find yourselves in a position where you can use these in a combat situation and then get a mage in Odessa to send me the results, that would be most beneficial to our continued research and development.
All right.
Let's test these bad boys out.
All right. Are any of you proficient with martial weapons? Or
Yes.
the equivalent would be crossbows or hand crossbows.
Hold, I think.
That is the weapon most analogous to these, as far as trigger, sight, and things of that nature.
Daggers, darts, slings, and quarterstaffs, baby.
I am
The
proficient.
caveman.
Oh, you didn't
Oh,
start.
like crossbows.
Yeah,
like
if you're a
crossbows.
first level cleric, you should have. If you start out first level cleric, you should have simple weaponry.
I don't think I did. I think I was a
That's a
wizard
shame.
first, and I think I did it for story purposes
Yeah,
because I hate to power game.
yeah. Mechanically and power gaming, cleric is better because you get better saves and you get simple weaponry and medium and
Better
light
hit
armor.
points. Yeah.
I do
Whoa.
have proficiency in all weapons.
Then yeah, you'll be good.
Good God.
As far as like aiming and getting used to the go. So they say.
Yeah.
So Brenna will say, Alan goes back to tinkering. Brenna will take you to the range and says, for those that says, she'll basically say what I said. If you're familiar with crossbows, as far as the sights and the trigger goes, it's very similar. The recoil will be different, though. It'll be more than you think it will. Just be ready for that. And the sound, of course, it's a lot louder as you are essentially creating a miniature explosion in the
I
barrel.
just fire it.
All right, you
Yeah,
just
she's
fire
fine.
it at give me a attack roll. Yes. Boom! It goes right through and annihilates the straw target they have set up. Well, it doesn't annihilate. It hit impacts and you see the straw. Some of the straw go poof and puff out.
Oh my god.
So what do I need to write down for the pistol? It's in Discord, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 1d10 plus dex for damage.
Yeah.
30 by 120.
Basically, if you want to quickly make one, just drag in a hand crossbow and change the damage to 1d10 instead of 1d6.
Oh no, I think D&D Beyond actually has one.
I might have modeled off it, but it might be slightly different, so I'm not certain. That's the one I settled on today. I didn't want to make it too OP. Because D&D Beyond also has an anti-material rifle in there too, which are not going to be in this campaign, so do not ask.
Oh wow.
No.
Can I take aim at like a much further away
You wouldn't be
target?
using a rifle with yours.
Yes, I will take a rifle in.
Yes. They have different ranges set up. They have that's how they determine the ranges of these firearms. So yours goes wide, Erlen. They have one out at every 30 feet essentially.
Okay.
I want to try for 300.
All right, you can. That's a no wait. You're still in normal. No wait, that's a disadvantage. Sorry.
No, that is a disadvantage, but it can still hit it. It's
Yes.
like I'm going for max range, because I keep hearing about how far these things can hit.
Well, no, they improved the range before. Earlier, you just didn't see the people when they shot you.
I still want to see how well these things do. They're bragging about how good they are. Let's put it to
The
test.
explosion to you, Slizik, is satisfying.
Excellent.
Erlen, maybe the explosion threw you off a bit, so you were trying to overcorrect for it, and you ended up missing your shot.
I think I need more practice at this, but
Oh man, yeah, you just hit it almost dead center from where you were aiming.
Excellent.
Damn.
Excellent weapon.
Fine work, you guys. You're gonna want to maybe post some guards. There's probably some Narathian spies around here that are gonna want to get their hands on this.
Oh yes, well that's the good thing about working with a Smith cast, as it were. We know everyone.
Oh god, excuse me.
So if there's anyone else we don't recognize snooping around, we'll send them packing.
Aye, pretty handy. Well, thank you for these gifts. They are kingly.
Well, you're the ones that dropped these blueprints in our lap to begin with. I just thought it would be a great way to repay you and celebrate our new partnership with the city of Stormhaven.
Aye, it is that. However, we do have to be going. We have to make it to Odessa before.
I
Oh.
At some point when you get the chance, be sure to give this off to whatever military person's in charge of that sort of thing. I hand up my little
I'll be
diagram
sure
of
to
the
inform
battlefield tactics.
our general of that battlefield maneuver you brought up, as well as, I think his name was Alaric, the overall general of the army or something.
It sounds
Also,
right.
you know those little I've seen this in diagrams about sieges. Where they've had like little turrets of a crossbow set up. I believe it was called a scorpion or some such.
Yes.
What if you were to do something similar with one of these? Like you had something to keep the barrel at the end steady. It seems to be the most difficult thing is keeping this thing from swaying around every which way.
I'll pass it on to Alon. Get him to work on that. He's trying to devise a way. It's really bugging him. Can't figure it out. He's trying to devise a way to reduce the reloading time even more drastically. He's speaking of something called actions and magazines, and his idea in his head he just can't get it to work.
There's no time for reading magazines. There's work to do.
He has this idea in his head, and he's using these terms aren't from him, but he just can't get it to work. But I'll let you know if he thinks of anything, but I can get him to work on this too.
Yeah, very good. Glad to hear.
Well, it's been a slice.
Alright. Yeah, and she basically says, well, don't forget to send us the information when you use it. As you guys leave and she waves to you.
Will do.
And with that, you guys retrieve your cart, and you begin your way to move out of Khazar-El-Dun on the way to Odessa. And with that, we're going to end the session.
Okay.
Oh, man. Are we that sweet level 7?
Not yet. You have not gone to Odessa. You have to do the introductory quest, my friend. So probably after the end of next session, you will.
Oh boy, I get advantage on initiative when I get that next level, baby.
We'll see you guys next week. This is where the stream. Yeah, I'll end the stream, but we can talk a little bit afterwards if you guys want.